Hi, friends. Good morning to another wonderful Podquester. What a night. What a night last night. I feel like I hyped it a lot. I don't think I overhyped it, though. I'm sticking with the day after. I'm sticking with best Patron Mini since 5.8. And you can challenge me on that. 619, much love, too. I know you love that mini. But I feel like last night was more entertainment than I had seen in quite a while. The cast was very dynamic. I feel like we're going to see a lot of them again. And we have a lot of them on the show today. So with no further ado, let's bring them all in. Blake, Bodie, Angie, West, Ryan, Carolina, Anant, and our winner, Dustin. Congratulations, Dustin. How are we all this morning?
I bet we're all tired.
Oh my gosh!
Did anyone sleep?
To say the least.
I slept maybe 3 hours, and that was only because I took NyQuil, and that helped me for like a little bit. And then as soon as that wore off, I was like, "Let's go on a walk," and I walked for 2 miles, and that's fine.
Yeah, I think I slept for like 3 hours too, mainly because I drank so many of those twisted teas, and I had so much sugar rush. I'm like, oh my god, 3 hours of sleep.
I feel like just combing through Twitter afterwards and seeing all the comments.
That's true.
Now especially as it continues to grow, there's basically so much on there that you can look at. Which is always fun, and we'll always keep you up. You always get lots of followers, so that's great. I guess first things first, what were all of our experiences going into the game? When we got into the room, seeing the videos, was there anything that surprised you all about who you saw, or anything that surprised you about the game as a first timer? What was everybody's thoughts there?
So I was shocked that the cast was 20, because I was fully expecting a cast of 22 or 24. So when I got into a room where there was only 4 of us in there, I was really worried other rooms had more people, so they would automatically have a numbers advantage. That was my, before the game even started, I was super worried about that.
Are we going in the orders or?
Whoever
Just
wants
jump
to.
in.
Honestly, I was in a starting room. My starting room was me, Reno, Cody, and Clarissa. And
Clarissa. She's in every room.
No. Yeah, so it was us 3. It was us 4. And I said that same exact shit to Cody. I'm like, some room might have 5, some room might have 3. And the first switch was even amount of votes. So I said, I'm like, look, we can stick together for the even amount of votes right here. And, but he was like, no, I think it's 444, which makes 20. I'm like, oh shit, you're right. So
I personally like the smaller number, to be honest. I think 20 works way better for these minis, and you get to know people better early on. And
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Because
when the videos came up,
at the beginning.
When the videos came up, I just each and every one was so good. And there was actual Sequester icons playing in the game. Like Carolina and Jay West, both of you, I was just like, this is amazing. I can't believe I get to play with them. So I was just psyched to play with people. And my assumption now after my first mini is that everybody has played more than once now. So I just assumed everybody had played more than once and was operating under that assumption. But for many of the people, I knew for a fact they were playing more than once. So it was exciting.
Yeah, that was actually my first time ever playing anything like Sequester.
same here, brand new for me, first time. And I've only watched 3 minis.
It was my first time as well. I'd watched since March, but this was the first time I was able to get into a mini.
Well, none of you played like it was your first time, so assuming that it was your multiple times was not a bad decision.
I know. I asked that question to Cody and Reno. I said, "Have you guys played before?" They was like, they was real on the fence about answering. And I'm like, "Oh, I played, but I was first boot. I don't know how to play, so I'm in the category with people who hasn't played." They're like, "But you played Sequester before, right?" I said, "Yeah, but the live game is a little bit different."
I was curious, Wes, because when I saw, I was really excited to see you because I feel like you were one of the few live players I actually haven't seen play a mini yet, because you got Tech Effect the first time. Right. But I was concerned at first because I didn't know how many people would know it was you? Like you kind of want to, I don't know. I feel like if you can confuse a few people and they don't know who you are, it's better. But you came right out and said who you were in the video. Did you second guess that at any point, or did you think that you were always going to be honest with that you had played the live version?
To be fully honest, bro, I'm black. It's not that many like ways I can, fly under the radar. But all honesty, I troll the Louie, you follow me on Twitter. I troll a lot of the players that played. If you played a great game, if you played the shitty game, I'm gonna troll you on Twitter. That's just me. But I'll say it to your face too. I'm kind of down to earth, so you can talk to me. And I was just coming into this game to show people that I'm really social as well. I'm not just an asshole. I'm an asshole. Anybody can be an asshole behind the screen. But I just want to talk to people, wanted to play, and I was hoping that. Like it worked in my favor that people didn't want to just vote me out because I played a live game. You know what I mean? So that's why this cast, it was like, all right, we got to meet Jay West and no real shake hands, but they're like, hey, nice to meet you. Oh shit, I get to play.
I think it would have looked shady if you hadn't mentioned it in your video.
Yeah.
Like you have to. You're in the video like that we all watched for an hour before the game starts.
Exactly.
So, like
That is true. It's hard to avoid that.
Wait, that was you? Oh,
yeah.
Yeah,
This
that's me doing it.
Angie.
listen, guys. While we were waiting, I was literally playing solitaire. I literally had solitaire.
I was
up.
jamming out to music. No wonder we were vibing. We were just
Yeah, we were all
completely-
bumping. I was jamming out to the music that I was playing, and I was playing solitaire, and I actually won my first try. Not to brag.
I was dancing, but
Sick
I
brags,
heard
Angie.
from the moderator that we're not supposed to communicate, so I kept like stopping myself from dancing so it didn't look like communication.
Yep.
I was putting my makeup on and my things kept falling down. So I was like, hey, Mod, my lipstick fell a little bit away from my table. So I'm just going to go get that and I'll be back. And I was like, you're good. I was like, okay, great.
I do also want to, and he'll be on later, but before we go into round one, I must shout out Troy's video, which I think was the highlight of the videos of the night. Fantastic.
Amazing.
Incredible.
Like-
Incredible.
Jaw dropping. Never before seen.
All
So
honesty,
good.
that was the reason. Like, I think we talked about this before we went live with Louie. That was the reason I wanted to target him. I said his video is great. Let's throw more on him. That was the dumbest reason. But I didn't know what to say. I'm like, this is my first time playing. I've seen so many people target people for so many other reasons. So I'm like, fuck it. His video was great. Let's just get him. I don't know. But it didn't get any traction. So
Yeah. I don't think we should punish people for having good videos. I want to see good videos.
That was
you know?
dumb. Yeah, that was,
I don't want to see
Oh,
any
yeah.
vertical videos. That's
Yeah,
why
well,
I
that's
voted
why-
Tyler.
That's same. That's why our room picked
I'm
Tyler
like,
too.
guys, it's 2020 horizontal. Come
I
on.
think it was Blake who was like, we were like, no one wanted to say a name, and Blake was like, well, Tyler had a
No,
horizontal or a
our
vertical
vertical the
video.
same
so-
idea. Rachel said it. Rachel, I was like, I don't want to say anything this fast. And Rachel's like, okay, let's
And
do
Rachel-
Tyler. Yeah, I was like, queen.
Rachel
I
full
like
on
her.
was like, I'm gonna name a name. We're naming Tyler, and we were like, cool,
Okay.
let's bounce. And then we all like split up into different rooms
Yeah.
and spread Tyler as fast as we could.
Yeah, exact same thing happened in our room. We were like, okay, someone say a name. And I think Blake threw out Tyler, and we just latched on.
Mhm.
Yeah. I bet Rachel, I didn't see Rachel's game, but I bet it was super strong. Like,
Oh,
She
was a good ally. She was a very.
was a good ally, but it was.
She would
I
have
mean,
won if she got
obviously-
to the end. I think.
I caught.
And I would have been glad to lose to her. That's totally
I
fine.
know.
Yeah.
yeah.
Because I see how much of a, like, I don't know, she was pretty one-sided. Like for the people that she wanted to play with, she was loyal to them. But the people that she really didn't want to play with, she showed her hand. She wasn't going to fake it. She really didn't talk in the
Yeah.
room. So that's how I was like, yeah, she's idle looking. She not even, I mean, LOS searching. She not even fucking trying to small talk, even though she was cool to play with. But I peeked at a couple times. She was like, no, oh shit, Jay West, hey. I'm like, yeah, after the fact.
It was interesting. I mean, touching on her a little bit. I mean, early on, we'll go into this more as the rounds go on. But it was like we didn't really see her game early, and we thought like when we got to like final 7, I was like, all right, there's a lot of people with bigger cases. But it turned out she was playing really hard. It was just very under the radar and like behind the scenes, and was really actually making moves that just weren't as visible as the rest of you, pretty much. But it did
Yeah.
start to come out like final 7, final 8 on.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I can't tell you one time where Rachel's name came up like the entire
Exactly.
time.
No.
No, that's true.
That would have been a good case for her. Yeah, I think her and my game were like parallel. We weren't working together, but our games ran really parallel. I think we both had the same idea. Let's take Angie as far as we can after jury. Let's take Jay West as far as we can because they'll be bigger targets. And like as a result, we both ended up in Final Four. And I think if it hadn't been, I mean, we'll have to ask Kels this. Hopefully she'll join. But if the wheel had hit Kels, I think it would have been me and Rachel in the final two instead of Dustin and Kels. So yeah, who knows? But I really would like to hear how great her game was because I think it was probably great.
Absolutely. So yeah, so let's get into round one. The first thing that was announced, which is something that we'll talk about in a few rounds in the future, was the new LOS, which was the invisibility cloak, which I was very confused by at first. But we love to see new iterations of the LOS, and I feel like it's something that people can definitely utilize to their advantage moving forward. But the first round was the even number vote round. We touched on the fact that we started at 20, which I do think was a really good addition. I feel like, I don't know, it had a nice pace last night. I felt like the game moved quickly. It ended at a decent hour. And also the rounds, you guys got more time for rounds. A lot of times when you're starting with 22, 24, some of these rounds are 90 seconds. And you can't really do a whole lot with it. I feel like last night, each round, for the most part, got a decent amount of time, which is beneficial for everybody. But the first round ended with Tyler's elimination. I feel like there were a few names going around. His Bodie's name was being mentioned. Stephanie was playing on her phone. Did anyone realize that at the beginning?
I realized it this morning. I was like, wait a minute, Stephanie was on her phone.
I didn't even notice it to the chat this morning until we were all talking.
Yeah.
I was in a room with her and she was on her computer and she rejoined from her phone and I went dead silent because I thought we were at room limit because there were 5 people. And then I'm like, oh no, it's just 2 Stephanies, we're good. So I was like, I'm just gonna push that because she's playing from her phone, which StreamYard kind of sucks on your phone, y'all.
There was one round where I was in a room and we had a discussion about, hey, should we vote Stephanie or should we just let nature take its course and she gets tech evac? And we decided not to vote Stephanie because of that.
I think I was in that room.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I was. I remember that.
I don't know. Like when I actually got to talk to Stephanie in the game, her tech was fine. Like everything.
No, yeah. When she was on her phone, it was great.
And I never witnessed her fucking messing up at all. So I was so surprised that y'all even saying that now. I was shocked because I was going to play with her the whole time.
I want to say one thing. When on the first round, I have a list of all the names that I heard, and I heard obviously Tyler's was number 1, but I also heard Steph's name in one room. Then I heard Bodie, and then Wes was like supposed to be the backup. And what had happened was, after I split from my original room, I went in another room, and they all said Tyler as well. And then I went to room 5, and it was still their original people with Kels, Kira, Anat, and I think someone left, and I joined. And they were saying Wes as a backup, but they wanted Tyler. But I told Jay Wes that only Anat said it because I didn't want to throw the girls under the bus. I was like, nope. I'm team. There was never like a specific.
It was Kira who put his name out there.
Yeah.
Kira said Wes.
Kira came into our room. And
I never had a specific girls alliance. I knew I would always say it's not realistic for me to vote a girl this soon, just because.
That was smart, Angie.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I planted a lot of seeds. I planted a lot of seeds, and no one noticed.
Oh, I noticed.
Yeah, I know. We'll get to that.
Carolina has to go soon. So let's get to it now.
Yeah, I want to give you the stage, Carolina. We're not going to get into your game too much. I mean, we will after you're gone, but we were all very happy to see you back again and play again. It didn't quite turn out the way everybody was hoping, but what was your overall experience on the night playing again?
Well, I had a lot of fun playing. I love playing. Follow me on Twitter. Same Insta handle, so follow me on that too. I'm kidding, not to be annoying. I had a lovely time playing. I really enjoyed meeting new people. I was really happy to see a few people that I knew already. I have a really good relationship with Abby. We played in the Latinx together, and that was really nice. I wanted to play with a lot of people. I saw the videos. I was like, I saw Dustin literally, like, I ran out of space of putting stars next to your name. Like, big fan. I'm so happy you won. I had a good time. You know, I got it hits you hard when you get eliminated, and it's, people say like, hey, it's a game. I'm the first one to say it's a game. Let's not like get too, but you get into it and it hurts. And
Trust me, I know. That's why I try to give people their space, because my fault to cut you off, but I was gunning for you, and I know you was pissed at me today. That's why I'm like, I
was pissed at you last night. Last night I was like, are you kidding me? What the fuck? But today it's all love. It is all love. I'm wearing my love t-shirt. Can you see? Love. It is all love. It's a game. This is a great community. This brings people together, and it's like you know that it's bringing people together who are willing to do not nice things and are willing to keep together, because you're voting people out. This is a game about voting people out, and you have to do it in a nice way. You have to bring kindness to it. And there's a way to do it. There's a way to play it. These games are fun. We love watching it. We love seeing drama when we're not a part of it. We love to create it too, because we want to be entertaining. And we need to know what stays there, stays there. Angie, I joked with you. I was like,
No,
you
yeah.
dirty girl. And you did do me dirty. But I loved it. You were such a star. Like, people love you so much.
Thank you.
And it's all good. It's game. I was really sad last night. It hit me harder than I thought it would, honestly. The alcohol did too. But that's what I got. If there are any questions, any comments you want to make before I go?
I'm sure we'll see you again. This is not the last time that you're going to play.
And let's not forget, you did make a final 2 last night. So
I did make a final 2 last night.
I was about to say, who is your final 2? I was about to ask you that, because I knew everyone in here in this chat probably made a final 2 with somebody.
I never made a final 2.
I think you meant on the Podquester mini. Is that what you?
Oh.
Yeah.
Carolina, I will say I never wanted to vote for you, and I never did. I heard that you had been throwing my name out, and it bummed me out. But when I saw your video, I was super psyched to play the game with you. So
I was really happy to play with you too, and I kept you like, Carolina sing Born This Way. That was a moment. It passed. I did what I could to keep myself around for the longest time, and that even didn't end up working out very well for me. So, but I would love to play with you all again, and who knows what's going to happen. Dustin, I could not be happier for your win. Like, honestly.
Thank you so much. I also need to give credit to your game, because the reason that I switched my decision from Ryan, who I was originally going to target, to Steph was the moment you came into room 5 at the last minute and you were like, Steph's pushing my name, and I wanted to work with you. And I'm like, and there was a moment earlier in the game where you came in, it was like me, Rachel, and you said that me and Rachel were pushing your name. And I wanted to prove to you that I was not pushing your name, and I'm team Carolina. And I was like, we're going to do this. And I just and I did it. And I was like, hey, if this isn't proof that I want to work with you, I don't know what is.
Yeah, no, and I took that and I appreciated that. And I was like, honestly, I didn't feel guilty, because I knew she was throwing my name around. So I was like, we fucking did that together. And that was like, I was proud of that. I really do need to go, because my mom's going to freak out. But, Mom, my head that way. No, maybe she doesn't want to say hi. Okay, well, I love you all. I will give you a little bit of Born This Way, because I see that on the chat. That's my mother. Okay.
Kisses.
Mom to a legend.
Thank you, Carolina.
I'm beautiful in my way, because God makes no mistakes. I'm on the right track, baby. I was born this way.
I love that.
Thank you for coming on, Carolina.
Bye.
We'll talk to you soon.
Bye, Carolina.
Bye. Take care.
All right. So actually, I do want to touch on one more thing for Anon in round 1, because I feel like you played that round really well, in the fact that you were the first person to get out of the room after you had 4 and go immediately to another room and try to get another 4 on that.
I stayed in room 5. Blake went out, but I suggested teaming up with another room and just getting the same name.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was smart, and it's always kind of difficult because I mean we never really see that in round one as the twist because there's a lot of people there to worry about, you know, getting an even number. But there was the opportunity to get 8, which I think was probably what sent Tyler out. I think it was probably 8 votes, which is more than you usually see.
Yeah.
And Troy is here. Welcome, Troy.
Yay, Troy.
Iconic video, Troy.
Video, man.
Video King Troy.
Troy,
Legend, Troy. Y'all are all legends. I was so happy to play with all of you.
When do we see Anita play? We want Anita.
Yes.
Anita, I mean, if there's another Drag Betty, she may have to get a new wig.
So that brought us to round 2, which was safety roulette. It ended with room 5 being nominated, which was Dustin, Anant, Sean, and Claire. It seemed to be mostly either Sean or Dustin here, which was, I talked to you a little bit, Dustin, how hard it is in the early rounds if your name is out there to get your name not out there. And if you can do that and be an early target and end up winning, I feel like that's incredible because it so rarely happens. But you did manage to avoid this elimination and Sean went home. So let's discuss a little bit about that and how you all maneuvered this round.
Well, so from our perspective, like in our room that was obviously picked to be voted for, Sean left first. So that was the easiest thing to latch onto. And then Dustin gave me like a really good vibe and we formed a quick pact. So I was like, if Dustin's the other name being thrown out, then I'm going to also steer votes away from him and just try and get every vote on Sean as much as possible.
I also wasn't going anywhere because I got the first LOS and I was going to play it because I knew my name was going around.
But that's when you played it ineffectively.
Yeah,
it was ineffective, which
Yeah.
is a testament to Rachel's game because Rachel came in the room with me and she was like, your name is going out a lot. So like, I don't know what to do. And it was probably in a case of like, she does want to work with me, but it also worked, like it flushed out my LOS really early in the game.
Right,
Which,
I got it the next round.
yeah, it's like, so like testament to Rachel, like she was like, even though she was working with me, like she knew like this, like.
Well, she
And
was
she was
doing you a
thinking like
favor at the same time too, because your name was around.
Yeah,
you
it
know,
was.
Like, what if you go home with it in your pocket?
I think.
Yeah, that was my thing. It's like if I had it and didn't play it and got knocked out, I would have looked a fool. So I'm like, I don't care if it's ineffective. I would be a fool not to play it when it's just me and another person's name floating around.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, I mean that's like in safety room roulette. Just don't be the first to leave, right? I mean, we've seen it so many times that the first person who leaves, the other people gang up on them, and then it's over.
And it's a testament to your game that pretty much everyone figured out you played the LOS, but you still overcame that target and obviously went all the way to the top. So that's even better, like amazing.
I also didn't put a lot of weight in the fact that my name was being pushed around. Like I would get into the room and people would be like, "Oh, your name's being pushed around." Like, yeah, that's great. Okay, Sean. Like it wasn't like I wasn't getting overwhelmed that my name was like being pushed around. And I don't even really like I didn't focus on the fact of like trying to find out who was pushing my name.
That's such a waste of time.
I'm like, this is a waste of time.
They're
Like
gonna
maybe
lie to
like
you or not tell you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I don't need like those kind of communications wouldn't help me map out who's working with who. Like it would just like it would be someone lying to me and then it would just get more confused. So instead I just pushed a name and then if it did work out, then I knew like something's working. Like I have some traction in the game somewhere and I need to move forward from that.
Yeah, but I gotta ask you, because I'm not that way. I'm completely opposite. Y'all see me, dude, for 3 fucking rounds. I'm like, who said Jay West? Who said Jay West? Like I'm busting in the room saying round what's up, but I feel like how do you know who to trust from just like from that logic?
Well, I honestly, the only people that I trusted were like the people that I were in my starting room, just because like it was an immediate vibe and we like got each other like right away. And then from then on, it was more like trying to map out who was working with who was voting along what lines, and then how I can navigate around it. It got trickier in the later rounds, like the next few rounds, because the people that I was pushing to be knocked out were not the people that were knocking out. So it made me realize like I don't have power in this game. Are you doing this really now?
Until we gave you power.
I know, which thank you.
It's interesting because it is hard. I mean, I'm like Jay West was saying, I'm the complete opposite. And the fact that if I know I'm in danger, I'm going to be running around and like trying to talk to everybody in a complete panic. And Dustin, the way you handled it was very cool and smooth. And you were still making social connections, even though you were in serious danger of well, even though you had the LOS, but you were in serious danger and not panicking, which I feel like is very difficult to do, especially when you're playing for the first time in round 2.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the strengths that I had going into this game, is like under pressure, I can still come across as like being pretty relaxed, or like in a stress situation, I'm like, this is the gauge of my reactions to everything. And like being fun, being flirty really wins people over someone else that like they might not have a connection with. And so it's like, if this can get me any kind of foothold and get me to the next round, then I'm going to use it. Like, and that's what helped me out.
Yeah, round 1, when I heard that my name was going around, like I had no idea what to do. So I was just like, I didn't ask who said it. I just like asked where, and then I went and like asked about it. But like what ended up happening there is just the people who were saying my name just left the room. So it was like I didn't accomplish anything. I just forced them to go talk to more people to get me out.
In the earlier rounds, I was aligned with Cody, and I think he was pushing like well, I said Troy, and we said sorry, Troy. I said Troy, and for like the first 4, we was thinking about picking Troy, but then Cody, I stayed with him, and a couple new people came in here. He just said your name, like, and I'm like, what are we doing?
Yeah. Wait, I'm like, Cody said my name and then went and said, "Oh, I'm hearing your name."
Yeah, he just started telling other people like,
that's a strategy for sure.
But I stayed with Cody the whole time. I'm like, you know what, fucking whatever you doing, I'm just gonna vote with you. It was a couple times I even said I was scared. I'm like, Cody, I was with you the whole time. I will out you out right now. Like, what are we doing?
Man, Troy, your drag was like really important.
Yeah,
Oh my
Troy,
God.
why did you drag Jay West?
Sequester,
I
like,
was like, that's just like an easy Jay West drag.
Oh,
Why? That game would have
round.
been so much easier for me.
I would catch
I heard his name and I was like, yes. And then
not to jump ahead, but Jay West, you had an LOS anyway, right?
Yeah, I had an LOS.
Yeah, so you weren't going. We all knew you weren't going regardless. We just thought you'd
yeah.
have to burn the LOS, but then you didn't even have to do that.
I had a feeling because not to jump ahead, but it's just kind of like when you were really coming after me in that one room and just flat out, I was just like, there's a reason. There's a reason he's being so bold right now. So that's why I was just like, and that's why when I went to other rooms, I wasn't even pushing your name. I was pushing Reno.
That was smart. That's so smart.
Yeah.
That's smart. So to get other votes on, and I would have wasted my shit if I would have like actually played out of panic, but.
Moving on to round 3, it was the majority rules, and the question was, what is Sequester Bot's favorite superhero? The answer apparently is the Flash.
Let me say something. I just feel like I was the sole reason why it was the Flash, because it was 8 to 9.
I think it was not.
Because because I joined a room.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
I joined a room second room 5, and they're whispering the Flash, and I'm like, why are they whispering it when I'm right here? So I was like, I'm just gonna go with my gut, and I also love the Flash, so I was like, I voted the Flash, and I was like, thank God. And everyone I was in a room with voted Spider-Man, and I was just like cheering, and they're all like sad, and I'm like, oh my God, this is so awful.
I know that somebody did Superman, so I think that it might have been a tie.
With the vote.
See,
I'm not sure Angie's involvement, and I don't want to take any credit away from her, but I do for me, this was my proudest moment in my short-lived time in the game, was because it was me and Cody in room 5 to start, and then we suggested the Flash, and then I kind of hustled and went to every room possible and told them, I already have the numbers. You guys just got to get on board. I have the numbers. Get on board.
Oh man, nice work. Yeah.
You told me
that, with 9 on the Flash.
Trying to throw me off.
Yeah.
It was 9 on the Flash. Yeah.
Cody didn't even vote for the Flash, who was my original partner.
Well, do you know why? Is because Cody came into a room where we had decided on Spider-Man, and Cody was like, my room said the Flash, but there were only 2 of us. And I was like, well, you don't have the numbers. We have more on Spider-Man right here. Let's go spread Spider-Man. And then I went into a room and everybody was talking about the Flash, and I was like, holy shit, which one won? I had no idea.
Yeah.
Who to vote
it worked in my favor because he came in my room last, and I was about to question him again, but like, yo, I heard my name because Angie just told me he said my name. So that's when I was like, kind of high. He like, Jay West, we're doing Flash. And I'm like, if you're not picking Flash and I fucking pick Flash, I'm going to be so mad right now. So it was worked in my favor because he stayed with me and picked Flash. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that was kind of my biggest high and biggest low in the game because I obviously won people over with the Flash, but then I revealed to you that I'd heard your name, and that was kind of like the final straw you needed to push my name in the next round.
After that, I'm like, all right, well, I got you next round. That's why I was like, thanks for safety. I was so happy with the game I played, man.
So how did we? It seemed like the main names going around after it was the Flash. So the nominees were Reno, Claire, Cody, Bodie, Kira, Troy, Rachel, Dustin, and Ryan. And it seemed to be mostly like Cody, Reno, and Bodie's name out there. How did everybody decide on Bodie?
I mean, I heard my name, so I had to have been in the discussion somewhere. Like,
So from my perspective, I had to protect Ryan and Cody because I felt good connections with them. And those were the only other two names I'd heard. And Bodie also had some targets in round one. So I felt like it was easy to convince people to go that route.
I think I haven't even really talked to Bodie that much. And I've talked to Ryan a lot. And I talked to Cody, obviously. And I was like, you guys are safe. I haven't even seen Bodie like that much. And it was easy. It's easier like that. You know what I mean? Like, especially like you guys said in the beginning, if you play with 20 people or 22 people, the less you get to see people, the easier it is to get them out. Because you don't know.
Was there any punishment? I don't remember. Was there a punishment for voting for the right person that round or anything?
Hope so.
Because I'm looking at my notes.
It was anybody else who got votes. Would be
Oh,
nominated
and oh my God, yes.
Oh
okay.
yeah. That's why I voted for Reno because I wanted him up next round.
Yeah, I only heard Reno, and I thought that it was going to be like unanimous.
I think I voted Reno that round, Reno or Cody, and I didn't hear your name at all that round. That was a real like actual shock to me. That's the only time I was shocked.
Like I expected
I
Bodie
did
to
too,
have
was
been
shocked that you
I
went
just
out.
didn't go in the right room.
Yeah, I heard.
too.
Yeah, same.
And that was-
Angie. Exactly the
And
same.
Bodie, he was in my starting room, so I knew like when I first started hearing his name, I was kind of like, oh, let's not do that. And I'm just kind of thinking like steer the direction to maybe like Reno or Cody, even though I heard those in other rooms, and I was trying to push for that, but it didn't really work.
And that's kind of like when I realized I do not have control of this game because I was not pushing Bodie at all, and nor did I hear
I
Bodie
felt
at
the
all.
same
And all of a sudden,
way.
Bodie went, and I was like, okay, something's up. Someone's doing something somewhere. I got to figure out who
Did
it is.
anyone vote for Bodie?
Did he
Yeah,
like,
I
did he
did.
believe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but like that was when that happened, when the Bodie vote happened, and that coupled with when we were picking the superheroes,
Mhm.
Blake was in a room with me, and we had decided in that room that we were going to push Superman, and that Spider-Man was going to be the one that was.
I was
the
in that
big
room
one.
too.
Oh,
so we're
that
like,
was
okay,
the
cool.
opposite of our room. Our room
So
was
like
like
we were
Spider-Man,
like, okay,
Man,
cool, we're
Superman.
gonna do Superman, and so that's what I put in. And then when it came up with the people who were safe, Blake was safe when he said the Flash, and I was like, oh, so Blake is playing a game, and that's when I was like, Blake needs to get the hell out of here
Wait,
now.
I'm sorry. Can y'all hear me okay or no?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear
You're
you.
that. You're
My-
little.
my-
Good.
Okay, my technology's dog shit. I can't fix it. I'm sorry. Yeah, so I wanted to just push a really easy superhero that we all remember that we could go spread around, and then I moved to another room to spread that, and immediately, and I was like, it's the Flash, and I was like, oh god, like that's the only thing I'm hearing. Ryan came in and said Spider-Man, which I knew was the fake one, so I was like, I think the fake one is getting around more. And then when I saw everyone from my starting room was nominated, I was like, oh, I'm a bad person, but it's fine. So, I mean, better y'all than me, but still, I felt bad. I didn't have a chance to get back with you guys to tell you the actual answer because
Yeah.
I was trying to make sure somebody that just went up on the block. Like, not you guys in particular, but I was like, because I think I would have gone if I had said Superman. Like, I'm pretty sure I would have got
I
Flash.
never heard Superman at all during that whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Audrey's timing on that was really good because there were at least 3 superheroes going around and a lot of people talking about them. It's so funny that one room was like Superman's the main and Spider-Man's the lie, and another room was like Spider-Man's the main and Superman's the lie because neither room knew what the real thing was going to be.
Well,
that
I
I was,
felt
in that
really
boat.
bad.
I was definitely in that boat. I was saying Superman, Spider-Man the whole time. If he never came in my room and said, "Fucking Jay West is Flash," trust me. Here's my trust. It's Flash. I'm like, all right. If you pick Flash, I'll pick Flash. But I was on the Superman, Spider-Man wave because I love Spider-Man.
I felt really bad.
I love the
because,
Flash. Barry
uh,
Allen.
Ryan came in the room last minute and said Spider-Man, and there was room limit, and then the round was over, so we didn't really get to say like, "Hey, that's not it." And then it was 4 of us safe, and Ryan was on the block. I was like, "Oh, yikes!"
Well, so I did hear the flash when I came in the room, but it was the first time I heard it. And no, sorry, I had heard it once before, but it was only from the room of 2. So I was like, "There's no way that it."
The greatest Sequester player of all time is here.
She's arrived.
Hi, Kels.
She's here. She's ready.
Yes. Yes.
Humble pie.
Yeah.
So just to finish out this round, so Bodhi, what were your final thoughts on the game and getting to play?
I mean, like I enjoyed playing. That's my Twitter. And I was very surprised to leave that round in particular. So it was like a weird, like, oh, and then that was my thoughts. I was surprised.
Do you think you'll play again? Are you planning to play again?
I hope so. Yeah, hopefully I will. We'll see.
Thank you for coming on. We appreciate it.
Thank you for
Bye,
having me.
Bodhi.
Nice to meet everybody.
Bye, Bodhi. Yeah, great to meet you.
Again.
Bye, Bodhi.
All right, so let's move into round 4, and this was the result of the following round, where anybody who got votes would be nominated.
My favorite round.
Yeah, let's discuss it a little bit.
Not
So
my
this was
favorite.
obviously the round where
I was fine with it.
Blake used the LOS, and it resulted in a nonce elimination. So let's talk a little bit about how we got there.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I thought the round where I not left was the one where if you got votes, you were up the next round, right? Because I threw a vote on Stephanie and she was up the round I left. Am I wrong on that?
It could have been the round after. Let me see.
Oh yeah, this might be the round. Yeah, anybody who got votes this round was nominated.
Okay. So I'll
Yeah,
wait till.
I didn't know. I was confused. Yeah.
All right,
know
so
why
this
I
round was what was this round? Oh, I remember. It was like between Blake and Cody, and I thought Blake was Cody because I didn't talk to Cody, and I got confused with the names. So I voted Blake, and I was like, I thought Blake was Cody for a second, and that's why I voted Blake.
So like here's one thing about LOSs and Sequester that I really love compared to like Idols and Survivor is like Sequester's so crapshooty, especially in the early stages, that if you have an LOS and you hear your name, if you don't play it, I think you're dumb because there's such a chance you could go home at any time. I do just want to say I misunderstood the rules of the round because I thought that it was the round where if you voted in the majority, you'd be nominated the next round. So I thought everyone was just going to throw votes and that I was going to survive because of that. So I threw a vote onto Stephanie thinking like, okay, I'll play my LOS, I'll survive, I won't vote in majority, and then I'll be safe. Turns out that was not the case. So maybe I should have paid better attention, but why did you guys try to come for my throat? I mean, Dustin, you obviously kind of explained it, and I can't fault you because you won. But like, why are you guys coming for my neck like that?
Spider-Man shit. That Flash stuff, probably. I don't know.
Honestly, it was that. Like, I was in the same room with Dustin. So, I mean, when Dustin kind of reaffirmed, it was like, Blake was safe because of this, and he was supposed to vote with us. I was like, you're right. So, I went along with it.
Yeah, I mean, like, my goal going into the game was to lie as much as possible because I am a very boring man. So, I knew that I was going out jury regardless. So, I was like, I'm going to throw as much shit at the wall and see what can stick and see what I can do in the short time that I'm going to be in the game. And obviously that didn't end up working out super well for me, but like, yeah, I mean, I feel like my fatal mistake was the superhero thing, but like, I also didn't want to end up on the block then, so.
Well, the reason you went out is because you successfully played an LOS the round before. Like, that's why. I mean, at that point, even though I was like room 5 strong, at that point, I just knew the majority was so on you that I just had to vote for you that round. But the previous round, there were a lot of names going around, and I was really surprised that Anat was second after when you played the LOS. So I don't know.
I don't think I got too many votes, but obviously it was just enough to be second in that round. And from my perspective, obviously I had to vote for Blake because I knew my name was going around. And I heard enough that you were the majority. Hi, Kira.
Hi, Kira. Hello.
But I think what doomed me ultimately here was that, obviously Angie mentioned it earlier, and full credit to her, is that she threw me under the bus, suggesting that I put Jay West's name out there in round 1, even though I didn't.
Because I knew Jay West was the type of person. I knew Jay West was the type of person to just go after someone if his name was. I just felt that vibe because it's how I would have reacted.
Played him like a fiddle, Angie. Played him like a fiddle.
But I guess if you're gonna go out, Sorry, I was just saying, if you're going to go out, a good way to go out is to get LOS'd out or
Yeah.
idled out or whatever.
Thank you, because that makes me feel better about my elimination.
I do truly think I could have made amends with Jay West had I survived that round, though. I think we could have talked it through.
Okay. All right. Did you say my name?
Who?
I don't know. Sorry.
No.
Can we move on? Because the next round's my favorite.
Well, no, I mean,
Oh.
not still wants to. He's got to get his thoughts.
Well, yeah,
in.
so I do want to ask it on because I felt like you were. I mean, in the early rounds, I felt like you were one of the strongest contenders of people actually making like strategic, calculated moves, and it just kind of took you out because of an LOS. I know you had also said that you initially thought you would be one and done in Sequester, but do you think that you will go on to try to play again? Because I felt like you were in a good position to go a lot further than you actually did.
Yeah, so just to summarize a little bit, like I'm not like a super fan like most of the other folks, but I do love the game and like I love the concept of Sequester and I'm a competitive guy, so I love playing. And I was kind of thinking one and done, hopefully with a deep run in me, at least jury. But getting out pre-jury, LOS'd out, it's not sitting too well, but there's a good chance I'm going to apply again.
It's easier the second time too. Like,
yeah,
it's just easier, less nervous. Yeah, for me it was, certainly.
But I think I didn't show too many jitters other than telling Ryan I knew him immediately off the bat.
Mhm.
So I felt like I made a decent impression for my limited time
Kels,
there.
do you remember that?
I do.
When
I was like, what? I was like, oh, y'all know each other? No.
Did you vote
I was
for me
like-
before you left?
Did I vote for you? No, I voted for Blake still. I was like,
really?
I got to go with the numbers. And no grudges at all. Like, just to wrap it up quickly, I got to run too. I told Louie this initially too. I think our cast was incredible and it was like stacked. Pretty much every single one of you came to play and I couldn't be prouder of how it went down, like all the way through, even to like all the other people I know through the Sequester family, like Martha and all that. I told them, great final 2, great final 4, great final 7, just amazing all through and through. And the fact that we're going down as one of the greatest minis of all time just makes me proud, even if I'm like a fourth boot.
It's a great cast to be a part of, for sure.
Yeah. Oh, and just a quick shout out to my PG Plays family. I love you all, and thanks for the support for me going on Sequester. Quick name drops for Maddie, Bradley, Jody, Martha, Lauren, James, Sharky, Matt, everyone. All right, thanks, guys. All right.
Bye.
Thanks, Anand. Thanks for coming
Much
on.
love. All right. Bye, guys.
All right, so that brought us to round 5. So the resulting nominations from the previous round were West, Cody, Steph, and Blake, and this was the last round for Blake. How did we get to this? It did seem like we already touched on that, Blake, you were kind of focused on because of the LOS play. It seemed like after that, I mean, it always kind of, when someone knows you can get an LOS, they're always afraid that you can get another and you become kind of a target. Did you know that you were immediately done, or did you think you could get out of it?
100%. Yeah. So basically, like here was my mentality coming into the game. I talked to the one and only Daniel Kennedy, longtime friend. I've known Daniel Kennedy for I've known him for like a decade. So I was like, hey, I'm really terrified of this, and you're clearly better than me at this. So can you give me any pointers? And he was basically like, bland white men are going to get targeted right away. So I was like, all right, cool. Well, that's me to a T. So I'm obviously going to get targeted right away. And then when I played the LOS, it, like I was on a high. I was like, cool, I survived this round. But I knew that my days were super numbered. Going into that round, I started in a room with JLS and Steph, who were both up with me. So I was like, all right, well, let's just push Cody's name. There's 3 of us here. I figured that was my only play. I was like, there's 3 of us. We can bounce around. We can all just agree to make sure we're all safe. I figured that the easiest thing to push was that our 3 names had come up previously and Cody's hadn't, and we were just going to keep getting pushed. Kind of like I said earlier, once your name gets said, it's like a death sentence in the early game. Obviously, that didn't work. I pushed that to a lot of people. People were dropping my name to me in the room with me, so that was fun. But yeah, I mean, I honestly thought when I played the LOS, that was going to prevent me from being nominated the next round, which was a bummer that it didn't. But I knew that I was dead, and I was like, fuck. I mean, I wasn't first boot, so I was happy, but...
Okay, so this is the round where I told Steph, I was in a room with Steph, Rachel, and someone else. And was Reno up for this? Was he on the flop? Was he a flop?
No.
For this?
No, he was not. He was up the next
Okay,
round. He
well,
was
we
up
were
the
saying someone's name, And then I was like, Steph, I can't believe someone put you up. And I was like, do you think Carolina put threw a vote at you? And she's like, you know what? I think you're right. And that's because all men were getting out. And I knew it was the girls' time. And I knew they were going to suspect a girls' alliance.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I'm going to pit these two girls against each other. And it worked because...
I actually started that.
Yeah, I know.
Shit with, with Kels. Remember you and Carrie? You all remember me saying that. I'm like, it's a girl. I'm sorry that don't get mad, but it's a girls' alliance going on. Are you frozen?
Well, the thing is, I knew that wasn't a thing. You kept telling us that,
but I was like,
we
if
know
we're
it
going to
doesn't
stick
exist.
together, then let's do it. There was a point where we were all in the same room, all the girls, and actually that's the next round. And I was like, are we going to do this girls' alliance or no? You know, because like at that point I was like, they already think it exists. Let's just ride it out. But it didn't work out. But.
No, it was just I think they suspected a girls' alliance, or you were just saying it to throw shit out, but I would say whenever a girl's name is up, I says, I don't think it's realistic to vote out a girl right now. That's always what I'd say. So I was like, it's not realistic for me to vote a girl right now.
That was my thinking, that if you go with, just Sequester lore and Sequester history, like the first 5 people out are always guys. So if that's the case, then it's always an all-women's alliance, right? Like that's just the usual trend. But I feel like because it was said, that's almost what made it, kind of come into being, because before that there was no talk of it even, but it kind of, got pushed that way.
I kind of was hoping there was, because first of all, I stand a girls' alliance, and second of all, I felt good with all the girls, so I was like, I'll get 5th. I'll get 5th place. I'm happy with that.
That's what I was like. I'll take 5th with the girls' alliance. That's what I was like. I would still want to play with y'all, but
Yeah.
No, like I think I went into the room and someone said like, "There's an all-girls alliance." I'm like, nah, okay. And like I just was like, and if there is, congratulations.
There was in that one room where I went into three girls, and all I heard was like girl power, and I'm like, I could be in this girl power with y'all. Like, let's roll. Let's go.
But at the end of that round, I was in a room with Noah and Rachel, most of my starting room. And when Blake's name went, I started dancing. Me and Noah were dancing. We were doing like the renegade. And then Audrey was like, wait, Blake can like do this, and that. And I was like, oh my God, it's going to be all of us in this room up. But surprisingly, Blake only put Noah in like that 5 he picked to be on the flop block next round.
Yeah, well, let's go into that a little bit. So after the Blake elimination, you had the option of nominating, I think, what was it, 2 to 5? 2 to 5?
Yeah, it was
up to 5.
2 to 5.
It was 2 to 5, yeah.
2 to 5, and you went with the full 5. What was your thinking going into those nominations? You had said that it was basically just the people who had not been at risk prior to that.
Yeah, so first and foremost, I watch a lot of Sequester Minis. I am Team Good TV, especially after Winners at War 2 a couple weeks ago. Like, I am such Team Good TV. Like, I want to see every mini be as entertaining as it is, right? So kind of to go back to like the first 5 booths are always just bland white men. That's totally okay and that's understandable. But in Sequester in the early game, when your name comes up, your name just keeps coming up. So my mentality was, I just want to put some of these people into the line of fire so they can start fighting for their lives. Like, I just want to see people start playing. I don't think anyone should coast to the jury based on status of the community or based on whatever. Like, I think if everyone wants to play, everyone should be playing free jury. So my nominations were essentially just people who hadn't been coming up. Like, I wanted to give the Dustons, the Jay Wests, the Stephs, all the people that had been getting consistently thrown under the bus. I wanted to give them a chance to like find their footing and push a name and have a breather, because Dustin's name came up every fucking round. Like, Dustin, you were just getting tossed under the bus. So I was like, let's give these people a break, right? And then secondary to that, it was just people that I hadn't seen. So when I got to the end, I realized 5, I bit off a lot more than I could chew for nominations, because I was running out of people. Because like a lot of the people whose names hadn't come up, I really liked. Like Angie, Kels, I liked you guys a lot. So I was like, I don't want to see you guys go up. And Troy as well. Like, I remember looking at the graphic, like there's a lot of people that I like who haven't targeted. So when I got to the end, it was kind of just like, oh God, I'm running out of people. And I hadn't seen Reno a lot. Carolina threw out my name at Rosie. That's the only thing that I meant by bad vibes. I didn't get bad vibes from anyone personally. You're all lovely people. But when I go into a room and you go dead silent, like, I'm going to get bad vibes. So that was where I had was that it was literally nothing more than just wanting to spice up the game. And I think a lot of rivalries came out of it. So personally, I'm happy with how it went.
It's a tough choice, It's really hard. And
I was happy. Shit. So was
Committing
that.
to 5.
Yeah, I was shocked I didn't go up. I was
Yeah,
shocked. Blake
my
didn't put
heart dropped.
name.
I was like,
I know.
we haven't talked
No.
that much.
So like my notes on all the videos, most of them are not very positive. Angie, next to your name, I just wrote "very cool, be my friend." So
Aw.
I had a good vibe from you from the beginning.
Angie,
a lot
what
of you
I said, Angie, you and Blake are giving me the same fucking vibes. But
Yeah,
Blake
it's
not
because
really talking.
it's because I recorded that video so many times and I was caring too much about how I look. So I was just like, fuck this, I don't even care anymore. I was like, I'm just gonna film it, show my gaming setup, then say what I have to, and then done. In and out, quick. And my camera was shaky, of course. That's my brand at this point, is being shaky and crazy.
Well, as someone who went up, if you were going to choose me, I'm glad that you nominated 5 people because it gave more cover. But
oh my god, I was hoping
I certainly wouldn't want to have
Ryan.
been one of 2.
Ryan,
That
I just
would've
want
been
to say the reason I nominated you is because you have the most intimidating resting bitch face I've ever seen. Like
Ryan
you are so like you have such you
Such a problem.
and it's not like I mean I know it's not personal, but the energy that you exude, I was scared of you. And I was like, oh my god, like he could cut me apart. So I was like, fuck,
Ryan looks like my freshman history teacher, and that's why I liked him.
I'll take it.
It's a compliment.
You know,
it's a
it's funny.
compliment.
It's funny because I felt like the first time I played, I smiled too much, and I felt like I became threatening because people were like, "This guy's in with everybody because he's smiling at everybody." And so this time I was like, "I'm going to smile less," and it worked. But I don't know if it was the right play or not. You know, like. So that's funny that you mentioned that because I did think about how much I was actually going to smile.
I've said it before. I said it last night. The most intense Podquester mini player of all time, Ryan Elder, took it very seriously and absolutely dominated everyone.
I did really want to
taking
win.
this to another level.
I will say that I did really want to win.
What was the next round? I forget.
Yeah. So let's finish up real quick with Blake. So Blake,
I can't wait to get rid of people.
No, I'm just confused because I literally can't figure it out what's next. Sorry.
Well,
Dude,
I really
Angie,
like
it's the game all over again. Shit, like Angie wants to get rid of me again.
No.
But Blake, I really liked playing with you, and I wanted to go room 5 strong for the whole game, but it just didn't happen. And I kept getting sad when your name got brought up, but I also was kind of being shady because I was like, oh yeah, Blake, yeah.
No worries, Kels. Don't tell Dustin, but I think you should have won. So I appreciate you saying that. No, I'm just kidding. I really like you both. So yeah, I kind of had to bounce because I am working from home, and by that I mean I've stood here on a podcast for the last 30 minutes. So the last thing that I want to say is coming back after like Sequester 1.0, which was no lie like 5.5 years ago. I'm such older than I was then, but Twitter hated me equally as much the first time as they did this time. But I just want to say I'm really happy I got to play with all of you guys. I love Sequester. I love watching these minis. I hope I see you guys play again. I don't know if I'm going to play again because that shit is exhausting and I was only in for 4 rounds. But y'all are all great people. I can't wait to root for you in a future mini. And I'm saying that except to the people I don't like.
Team Good TV, indeed.
All right. So that brought us to the next round. So Blake nominated Abby, Ryan, Noah, Carolina, and Reno. And this resulted in Noah leaving. So this was the first time we've seen this, maybe second. So it was now or much later. So either vote now and lose your vote in the first round of jury. I was actually surprised so many people voted. I thought for sure the only way that you vote here is if you're up for elimination, but there were actually 9 people who voted between these 5. So let's discuss that a little bit in terms of who voted and how we got to the Noah elimination.
Can I go first? So honestly, I voted. I voted that round, but I had the intentions on like playing real hard, which I did. So I didn't think I was going to make jury. I'm like, I don't want to waste a vote. You know, I don't want to like think too far ahead, like, you know, have a jury speech and all that shit unless I get to jury. So I don't know. I wanted to waste my vote. But then I started thinking about it over and over and over. Just like you said, it was like so many people were safe still. So I'm like, you know what? I got to go to the bathroom. Can I just go to like after you put your vote in or you shut? I'm like, man, I think somebody was in a room, man. I was like, I put my vote in. I'm going to the bathroom.
Yeah, that was
I just couldn't hold it anymore.
That round.
Somebody was like, yeah, Wes, you know you voted, right? I said, oh, yeah, fuck.
That round, I was of course, Noah was on the block and he was in the starting room. And realistically, for me, I didn't think I was going to make jury. And I really wanted to put my vote out there to save Noah. And when it was really unfortunate because I think all the people that were on the block except Noah were in a room.
Correct.
And it just sucked because I really didn't want Noah to go. I really wanted room 4 to just last. And it was just really strong. And I was like, I'm using my vote. There's no way I can't not use it right now.
Yeah. I was a little shady this round. I said I was going to vote and I did not vote. And
exactly. That's
why
why I was like, remember, I think we ended up getting the jury and I was with Dustin for a while. I'm like, you're a fucking gamer. Because he was like,
that's ballsy because that's like opposite.
The whole time he was like, I don't have a vote. I don't have a vote. I was with him.
Oh yeah, I fully was like in room one, everyone was like, yeah, I don't have a vote. And I went to room 2 and I had a little confession like,
yeah.
And like
we'll get to that for sure.
I mean,
I mean it's like quote unquote best practice, right? Is to vote in the now round and then say you didn't vote in the later round or whatever. But so like to do the opposite of that is like amazing.
Yeah, because I fully believed you, Dustin, only because like I think we were in a room and I want to say I was in a room with Carolina, and somehow I remembered we were kind of pushing for Ryan. Not gonna lie, and I know
Carolina was gunning for me for sure.
Yeah, and so I was like, "Well, I don't want to see Carolina go this round." And Dustin said he was voting for Ryan, so I could easily just save my vote, but I kind of want to work with these people, so I'm like, I throw a vote for Ryan. So sorry.
I'm surprised I got votes. I must have split. Me and Carolina must have split the minority votes. I bet because I would love to see the vote total because I think that round that moment where it was Carolina, Abby, myself, it was basically everyone but Noah that was on the block was in a room together, and we're all like, look, we can all save each other if we just all vote Noah. And then I was the first to leave that room, and I was like, oh, that was a huge mistake. I should have just stayed with those people the whole rest of the time. And then it worked out. I was shocked. I thought for sure I was going.
I didn't hear your name at all that round. I voted Carolina.
See, I voted no, or I didn't vote actually that round, but I was pushing Noah's name, but I never specifically said to anyone, I am voting. I just, every single room I went to, I said that because I thought, I got the vibe that everybody kind of forgot it was an hour later round in their head until Audrey said it again when we voted. Because I almost forgot. I almost started typing because I had promised myself I was going to save my vote till later, hoping that I made it to jury. But it's very interesting how many people voted because I think it kind of did slide under the rug that it was an hour later until it was brought up again at the end.
I pretended to vote. Like I was like this.
Oh yeah,
that was my laptop.
But we got the
typed and then deleted the typing.
but I was like FJ3 delete. But I knew that Ryan was safe, and I was like, Ryan was pretty much the only person that I was working with. And then I was like, nobody said any of the other names of people that I was kind of okay with. And then Noah was like, I was like, all right, I guess. So I knew that he was gonna go, but I didn't know. I didn't. Yeah.
You knew more than I did.
I don't know for me.
Yeah, I didn't hear Ryan's name at all that round.
See, Ryan came to me and said, I think it's me or Noah, so it would be okay if you guys save me this round. I remember at the next round, he was like, thank you for keeping me safe. You know what I mean? You good. But all honesty, I just like to be on the right side of the votes every time. So, and if you can plead that at the end of the game, that's still good too. I'll be like, I knew Noah was going. I knew Ryan was up. Yeah. But, I voted for the right side. Pretty much I had how many times I lost votes. I think I was on the wrong side of the votes like 4 times, but I was okay going all the way to 5. So,
Wes, that's something that's interesting, I think, because you're one of the few people who I've seen in this game who was actually like actively thinking about their resume very early on. Like people don't usually think about that till way past jury, but you were thinking actively like from mid pre-jury of what moves you could make that you could talk about later on to get you a win, which I thought was interesting.
You know why I play like that though? Because like, obviously we're a fan of like, so many other reality TV show games, but being that I played the live game and it's 5 days, but it feels so long, but I still think in my head, like 5 days isn't long. So I played as many and I think like 5 hours isn't long. I'll be okay. So I'm like, everyone's playing hard. So I gotta have a better resume than the next guy. So that's the only thing I'm thinking about. Just stacking my resumes, my moves for the people that I'm getting out, my targets. Playing bold. But
I do think
It was
just
awesome.
on this twist again, it probably is like I could see this become a strategy if this becomes a round that we see a lot. Like you said, Dustin, saying that you voted and then pushing it in the later rounds. Well, this is why you should keep me till jury because I'm not going to have a vote that round. If you can actually make people believe that, it's a good reason for someone to keep you.
I believe them.
If you can, if you can fake
That's
it.
why I said in the room,
Dustin.
Fucking
in the
gamer.
room with the 4 people that voted for Noah. Afterwards, or in whatever room I was in, I was like, thank you guys for saving me so much. And I was like, I owe you. And listen, I jokingly was like, I won't vote for you in the jury round because I don't have a vote. And that was like straight up just to like remind them, hey, I'm not going to be a threat in the jury round if we get there.
Yeah, I was in that room. That's what I was talking about just now. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so on to round 7. This was the bot coin twist. Bot coin, I'm pointing at that, even though Audrey hasn't called it yet. That shout out Michael O'Rear for coming up with that. And Dustin, you got the 20 coins, which you asked for pretty much. You said, give them to me, and you got them. And this ended with Claire's elimination. So let's discuss a little bit about that and how we got there.
Shout out to Kels because she was the one that really helped me with that. If she didn't give me those 5 coins, I would not have gotten those. So
Yeah,
Because
I
we
want to
were
know
kinda
who
the-
else gave coins to who.
I gave my 5 coins to Dustin.
I
I
gave
split
Troy.
from Dustin and Rachel.
I'm not gonna lie, I was really confused this round, and I had only been in like 2 rooms the whole round because my first room I think I was with Stephanie, but like she kept wanting to split up everyone's coins, and I was like, maybe we shouldn't do that. But then I could never get anywhere. So I was like, okay, I just wasted too much time in this room. I need to go. And then the next room I went in, we also couldn't figure out anything. And so I literally just threw my coins somewhere. I was like, hopefully I'm not screwing someone over right now. I actually just gave them all 5 to Carolina because I'm like, I don't think anyone's going to give her coins, but I also don't want to like
That's what I
screw
kind of.
anything up. I don't know.
Rita.
The link. I'm like, when is he sending me this damn link?
So, no, you had it for a while. I was like, when's he coming in?
I'm sorry. Hey,
Yeah,
everyone.
but I was thinking that same thing. I don't know, that pretty much the same thing. I was confused that round, and I was like, hopefully, too many people don't give Troy the coin so he don't get voted out, or if he is voted out, I don't waste. I didn't really understand the twist, so I said like, I'm gonna just give him to somebody who I don't hear their name.
Yeah.
I knew this round, like, I wanted to give my coins to somebody who I knew was going to keep me safe. And I had a good relationship with Dustin and a good relationship with Rachel. So that's why I was like, I'm just going to split these 2. So hopefully they didn't get enough. I didn't even know Dustin was campaigning to get coins on him. But I'm glad it turned out the way it was.
Wow,
I'm glad
I
I
can't
didn't give
believe you
all my
didn't get-
coins to Dustin because he would have been over 21 and wouldn't have
Yeah,
gotten
easily.
it.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm shocked you didn't get over.
So for that reason, I heard it. I'm like, I like this, and hopefully he'll go. So I'm just giving him to Troy because no one's saying Troy's name at all. But I didn't.
The strategy I was trying to go for, because it was me, Kels, and Dustin were in a room together. We started in the room together, and Dustin was like, I'll take all the coins if you guys tell me who to put up. And I was like, well, I'm not going to tell you to put up, but I'll give you my coins. As long as you don't put me up, great, right? And so I was like, Kels, just wait here till 2 more people come in. We get their coins on Dustin, and hopefully nobody else gives coins to Dustin, and he'll have them. So to hear that people gave some coins to Dustin and not all, I'm shocked you got enough. I'm shocked.
Yeah, it's a huge risk. But I also at that point, like, based on how the votes were going, they were not going in a way that I wanted them to go. People were leaving that like I didn't want leaving. So I'm like, it made me realize like I am really not in control of who's going home, and I didn't like that. So I wanted the coins, and I wanted to tell everyone these are the ones we're going to be voting for. Me trying to ask for who to put up was to kind of push off blame for me in case anyone's like, you put my name up. But the reason I picked the people that I did, the first 3 were 3 people that I literally had never been in a room with, and I did not know. And those were Claire, Cody, and Steph. Like, I maybe been in a room with them like for seconds. And then I put up Kira because I had to pick a 4th one, and then you went to U of A, and I'm from Arizona
It's
State.
okay.
So we're rivals.
Get Dustin after you did that. I was like,
And that's crazy. I was playing with all
angry.
of Steph,
I am so
Claire.
sorry.
It's okay. No, because like after that, we eventually got into a room together, and we'll talk about that in a second. But like, keep talking about your game.
No, but like and then it came to, well, someone messaged me after the game realizing that I put up 3 women and Cody, and they're like, that's a big sign that you want Cody gone. And that's kind of what I wanted. Like, I wanted to get Cody out because like he was the one that I think I had like a 2-second conversation with Cody the entire game. And so I just had no idea where he was or like what he was doing. And I wanted him out. So, I mean, and when the round started and we started pushing names, like I was going Cody, like I want Cody gone.
Same.
So
we were on the same page that round because I wanted Cody out for a couple rounds before that because I was in a room alone with him and I still was not getting good vibes. And so I was just like, this guy doesn't seem like he wants to work with me. So
yeah, it was very hard to read him. Like anytime I'd ask him questions, he would always like I don't know if he was like nervous or something like that, but based on like how he was interacting with me, it was just something that I didn't feel comfortable going farther in the game with. Like I don't want to go farther in the game with someone that I don't know where their head is at, or like I don't know like how they're processing the game. So I'm like, he needs to leave now. So that's why
this was actually really interesting because it was Cody, me, and Steph, and I can't remember the one other person was in the room when this round started and you had picked everyone. And we were like, well, we have to go for Claire. And so I went into every single room and I said, get Claire. We have to get Claire. Because I hadn't talked to her like at all the whole game as well. But it was very interesting. I did notice that Cody was the only one up. It was interesting that Claire still went home though.
I didn't vote for Claire. I voted for Cody.
I voted for Claire. The last thing I heard was Claire.
I was shocked.
I really was Claire only because I probably was in like a room with her for like 2 seconds and we didn't really talk at all. So I was like, well, that's the person that I think is not really useful for my game. So, and plus I wanted to protect Kira and Stephanie at that time.
I voted Steph this round. Yeah.
Yeah, I voted Steph.
I wonder, Claire must not have been moving around a lot because I didn't see her either.
This is the room I was at when voting happened. I ended up in a room with Carolina, and she was like shocked when Claire went home.
Yeah.
This was one of the more surprising eliminations of the night, I think, because I don't think a lot of people, even watching, thought Claire was going to go here because the vote was kind of split. I imagine it was a pretty close vote.
I was getting a lot of bad, well, not necessarily bad vibe, but this was a round where Angie was spilling all this tea to me. She was saying that Jay West and Carolina were close, but Jay West was trying to deny it. And she also said that Angie was going after... You were telling me all this stuff.
That's wrong, T. That's
no. This is what I perceived. Is because when I was in a room with Carolina, she joined room 5 first round, and when she heard that your name was out, she looked like visibly upset. She was like, "Oh, what?" That's literally her reaction. So
when
like,
she heard my name was out.
When she heard Wes's name was out, so that's why I thought they were close. That's just me. That's just her giving a big reaction for something so little.
And then in the next, but then like in another room, Jay West was like going after Carolina hard, and I'm like, okay, so something's not adding up. Either Angie's in on this and they're just trying to like come up with this together to make it look like they're not working together, or he's aligned with
because
Angie.
After Claire went, she was in my room. She was in my room with Reno.
With me and Cody.
Cody, Reno, and Claire, we was all in the same room. And I think Kira, you was up for elimination that round, right? It was you, Steph.
I was up.
Yeah, you, Steph, I kept being stuck with Steph. I like Steph. I was playing with her the whole night, so I'm like, fuck it. I'm gonna have to go with Claire because I stopped seeing her during the game. Yeah, we were together, but I'm like, I really haven't seen her that much either. So I'm like, I'm fine with going with Claire this time. I kept talking to Kara a lot, so
I started
really
thinking.
Important.
Go ahead.
Okay, sorry. I think it was really important that time though, because I was up and not that many other people were up. I know Cody was a big name, but I knew like if my name was thrown out again, it would be stuck out, and then like people would continue talking about it. But I think the fact that I just stuck with one name the whole time, I think sometimes when you go, oh well, I'll just go with whatever everybody else wants to go to, that's a lot of times when votes get split too. So if you just keep pushing on one specific name, I think that's really helpful.
Yep. Nice job.
So that moved us to a new twist, which I was trying to get my mind around as it was happening, and Dustin did it faster than I did, which was Karma's Kiss. So essentially, the person who gets the most votes, their vote decides who goes home. Now, the thing that I was confused about initially was the fact that did the person who go home have to actually vote for the person who got the most votes, which the answer is apparently no.
Really? But that's what Audrey said.
No,
I asked my
That's not what they
mod
said.
too because I was so confused.
Yeah, so my interpretation of the twist was whoever got the most amount of votes would be knocked out, unless that person who got the most amount of votes also voted for someone. They voted for someone who voted for them. If if I didn't vote for Steph, I would have gone home that round because I got the majority votes. I had to pick one of the people who voted for me.
Okay.
Right.
But I
That's
don't
how
think
I
that was
heard
actually
it
the
too.
case. That's what Audrey said. But then I asked my mod because I was really confused. And they said, no, the person that gets the most votes, no matter who it is they pick, those votes will be transferred to them no matter what.
Oh boy,
No,
I played this
that
round all
wasn't-
wrong then.
No, yeah, that wasn't my interpretation of it. That's why I did the move that I did when everything was happening. So my first thought, well, I interpreted like I have to vote for one person who's voting for me, and then they'll be gone. So when I started to get everyone to vote for me, I tried to keep a tally of like who was in my room, who's going out, who's spreading it, all that information. My initial target was Ryan because I felt like Ryan had really good connections throughout the game, and Ryan was making like he had really good connections with everyone in the game that I was not. I felt like I wasn't doing well. So I was like, I need Ryan to get out of here now. What changed it was when all of a sudden a lot of people started flushing through my room. So then all this information is going to start going out. And I'm like, Ryan is connected. He's going to find out that his name is going to be the one that I'm going to be writing down. And if Ryan's a smart player, which he is, he's going to not vote for me and vote for someone else. Then I go home. Like I will be the one that gets out because I have the majority votes. And Steph, like right at the beginning of the round, me and Steph were like connecting. I talked to her why I had to put her up, and like we were building a bond and all that. And she went out to go like talk and spread about the plan. A few moments later, Carolina comes in my room, and I wanted to work with Carolina. Round 2, when Sean was going home, Carolina made a case to me that if she was to go along with the plan with Sean being voted off, because my name was out there as well, that I would protect her in a later round or do her a favor later on in the round in the game. And I was like, okay, I like not necessarily this moment, but I need to show her in some way that like I am with her and I want to go farther with her in the game. And so when that happened and I knew that Steph was going to be voting for me, that's when I transitioned. Like, I know Steph's voting for me. I'm fairly certain I'm getting the majority of votes. And if this twist is how I think it's going to be, like this is going to turn around and knock out Steph, which will give me favor for Carolina.
It was.
And
Go
what's
ahead.
up?
No, go ahead.
No. Like it would give me favor with Carolina. It would prove to her that like I'm with her and like I want to go and let's do this. And it was a flashy move and I liked it.
Was it a time that Steph was in a room when she heard you talking about this plan? Because
no, it was literally like the last few seconds. Kira was in the room with me. Like Carolina came in and like I asked Carolina, I'm like, Carolina, who do you want? Because like I can change my vote. She was like, Steph's been pushing my name.
Okay.
And I was like, I'm done.
It was weird because Steph came back into my room and actually told me that plan. So I said, hold on, I'm going to get more votes on Dustin for you because she said that he is going to drag someone, but I think it might be me, but I'm pretty sure it might be someone else. So I'm like, so what do you want to do? She said, we can get Dustin votes. So she pretty much told me to vote for Dustin. And I told Albie, because I was playing with Albie, I'm like, Albie, everyone just vote for Dustin because he's going to drag someone who isn't playing with us. Because I thought me and Dustin was playing together. But all honesty, he just dragged Steph. So that's why I was surprised. I'm like, I think we were in the same room together, Dustin, at the time when we was all sequestered at the time. I'm like, I can't believe you did that. He just pulled that.
That was shocking.
I thought that was such a good move.
Yeah.
But at the beginning of that round, I was in a room, like from the previous round, I was in a room alone with Carolina. And when like we could unmute at the beginning of like your round where you got all the votes, I was telling Carolina that Stephanie's still saying your name. And I was like, just feeding her all this info. And I was like, this is going to go somewhere. I don't know when. I don't know if it's going to happen today. I don't know if it's going to happen this next round. And that's why I just like, I knew Carolina wasn't going to let go of Steph. So...
Dustin, yeah, it's crazy. If you had voted for me, I voted for Cody, so you'd have been gone. And I actually thought I was getting rid of you because I came into a room at the very last minute and I heard Cody saying, so now we just need to make sure Ryan votes for Dustin. And I was like, okay, well, I'm definitely not voting for Dustin then. And so I was like, I had been spreading Cody and I was like, I'm going to just stick to Cody and hopefully he doesn't vote for me because it sounds like he's voting for Dustin.
Mm-hmm. And I knew, like, as soon as more people started cycling through the room, and like I knew like it was going to start spreading around. I'm like, Ryan's going to hear this. Ryan is going to know that this is what's going on.
I almost
and if my
didn't.
interpretation, yeah, and if my interpretation of the twist was like, if I voted for Ryan and he didn't vote for me, then I was gone. Like, it's a big risk, but like once Carolina came in the room and like told me like she doesn't trust Steph, and I wanted to go further with Carolina. One, because I liked her, and two, like she's a huge meat shield going forward, especially when you get into the jury part of this game. I was like, okay, let's do it. And it happened. And it happened in a way that was very dramatic, just because like when they said like, Dustin, you got the majority of votes, Steph was in the room with me, Kira, and Carolina. And we were just like, it was dramatic just because Steph was really happy that like the vote went my way. She was like cheering, and I was just like, here it goes.
No, but I thought that was such a good
I gotta
move
watch that
because
back.
I know. I need to
West
do
and
that.
Steph were so close. He kept saying, I am so good with Steph. Steph's like the best. I'm with her. And I'm like, well, that needs to be split up real quick. So I was so happy when you did that.
I was
Chef's
so
kiss.
mad because I just wanted a partner. I actually even told Ryan that. I was like, I want to play with somebody, at least one person. And then I knew Steph was going to be somebody that was going to vote with me every time. So I'm like, yes, let's go. I got Steph. And I thought Steph was playing with you in the beginning. Remember, I think I told you that, Karen. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm playing with Steph and I'm playing with Cody. So let's just come together with a 4. And I only said Cody because we was in the beginning in the room together. But
No, I was definitely loosely aligned with you.
But it appeared
yeah,
like you were playing with
I was playing with
Bobby.
Albie a little bit because, yeah, I know Reno pissed that day. Like,
You even said it. You're like, I'm playing with Abby.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Well, it looked
we were
like you were
talking
playing
a
with
lot.
Bobby.
We were talking
Yeah.
a lot. We came together with a lot of plans, but we were playing together. We talked more than me and you, Reno. It was just me and
I
me
don't
and Reno.
trust that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm about to say me and you were in the same situation as Cody and I, because we all started the same
I
room,
know.
but we really didn't talk. But we were loyal to room 1. You know what I mean? We were like,
Yeah.
So after that, that brought us to round 9. So this was around whoever voted for the person eliminated is nominated the next round. And JOS, this is you finally got your way, and you did remove Carolina from the
I
picture.
said, y'all took out Steph.
Yeah, you were trying it for a couple of rounds. How did we get there?
Honestly, it was hard as hell. I think I said the girl alliance thing again. It really wasn't getting traction because it was so many girls, and I really didn't care about that. But it's just something to put on her, and I don't know. Honestly, I just wanted her out because I'm like, look, guys, she's gonna be somebody that's gonna drag me, and obviously, y'all want me out because I'm a live player. I'm a target just like her. We're both big shields. Let's just get her out before pre-jury. Before the jury phase, before the dragging. And I don't know how, but it worked in my favor. I got enough people to vote with me. I think, Kels, did you vote?
This was also the round, also just to note, this was the round that Angie had the invisibility cloak. So that also put another wrinkle in things, and the fact that we had never seen that done before. So I want to bring that into the mix as well.
Well, when I got it, I have my note from when I got it from the round before. I was really excited. So I wrote it on a piece of paper, and I was also in a room alone. So I was like, when I joined in, I was like, fuck you guys, I got the invisibility cloak, like alone, just like to the stream or whatever. But I heard a lot. I had notes somewhere, but I joined in on a room with Reno and Cody's like, you're my final 2, Reno. And I was like, feed me this info, baby.
I made sure not to respond to him and confirm it because, well, I don't know if I ever gave him a straight answer. I just said, because Cody, I don't know if you guys watched the O Canada Mini, and he played in the O Canada Mini with me. And I think, Ryan, you said who was it here who said that they just never got a good read on him? Was it you, Ryan?
Yeah, I never got a good read.
I think it was mainly nerves because he got out second in that. And so I think he was just a little bit hesitant. But I just was trying to make sure not to actually tell him, yeah, I'm going to go to the end with you. But we just kind of had that unspoken loyalty, but also because I knew you were kind of floating around. And I think the first room that you went into, who was it? Yeah, you glitched.
I don't know. So I left that.
Someone was in that room.
They already know I'm there. I'm not going to stay here because they're not going to say anything. But Then I went into a room with Jay West, and Jay West is like, I thought he was talking about me, but he was talking about Carolina. So I was like, I'm gonna stay here for a while. So I did spend a lot of my time there to figure out who he's talking about. And I was scared. I was like, oh my God, he's talking about me, because he said whenever I go into a room with her, she giggles and then leaves. And I was like, I laugh a lot. Maybe that's about me. And I'm like, and then I figured out it wasn't. So then I left. And then I went into a room with Carolina, Rachel, and someone else. And Carolina knew I was watching. She's like trying to mimic like a name, like so I couldn't hear it, but like I'm watching you, I can see you. And Carolina's telling Rachel that like I snitched on Rachel for something. And I'm like, I don't know if the mod could hear me in backstage, but I literally screamed. I was like, are you kidding me? I was like, the next round, I was like trying to find Rachel in each room, and every room I went into, it was full. And I was like, I'm just trying to get Rachel. I'm trying to clear my name. And I was like, I don't even know why Carolina was saying that. But that's
I know Angie, she came in the visible round. She came in, she was like, Jay West, I got the tea. She was like so
I
many
told Kira too. I was like Kira.
Yeah.
I was like, Reno and Cody have a final 2, guys. I was like, I was gonna spread that as much as I could.
I will. Well, I'll say my vote this round. So my vote this round was for Carolina. And my reasoning for that was because the 2 names that I heard going around the most were Carolina, which Jay West was pushing, and the second most name that I heard going around was Cody. And I remember being in a room with Abby, and Abby was trying to get Cody voted out this round. I don't know who else was in that, if anyone else was in the room that round too. So like I was like, okay, that's why I just didn't vote for Cody, because I knew that I trusted him. And I figured that if I voted for Carolina, it would, because I knew that if I voted Carolina, maybe I would be up on the block next round. But I knew a lot of people were going to throw their vote, because she did say that if you're in the majority, you're up on the block next round. So I knew that this was going to be a round where a lot of people were going to try to throw their vote. And I knew it was a risky move, but I said, okay, I can't afford to throw my vote this round and have Cody go home, because I know that he would have been loyal to me. So I said, I'm just going to take the risk and do Carolina. And then moving forward, I can just say that it would put more of a target on Jay West, because now that would make him a bigger target in the game.
Yeah, I didn't even.
That's why in
the jury phase, I was like, fuck, I should have just kept her during jury.
Yeah.
Like, but I really wanted her out, because I'm that type of person, like Dustin, completely opposite. Don't say my name because I want you out now. Like,
and I will say, like, this was probably the round that I most regret is voting Carolina.
Yeah.
Just because I was back and forth, Carolina and Cody, because Ryan came to the room and said that he's saying his name and to vote Cody, and I wanted to, and then there was a point of like Carolina's name being out, and then the possibility of, you know, me going up, and I thought, well, maybe Cody's got enough. And then with Rachel and Carolina, I was a toss up. Like even Audrey was like vote ? Because I did not know, and I just wrote a name, and it bit me for sure.
I really wonder who had the second highest votes this round, because I can probably think it was Cody. I don't know.
I mean,
like,
with 4 people,
there was also an ineffective. There was
Me
also
too.
an ineffective LOS in this round as well.
There was. So who did you vote for, Kira? I know.
So Dustin, Carolina, and I. This was we had, I think, in this round we were like, I was like, you know what? We're gonna water under the bridge. You put my name up, but you know what? It's okay. So we kind of secretly were like, let's make a final 3 while we're in here. And Carolina was kind of heading that. And then I really didn't want Carolina to go out, because we didn't know each other that well before the game started, but we are in like a group chat together. And I had just seen her play before, and I just thought she was like ray of sunshine. And I literally just like wanted to work with her so badly. And this was the first time I had actually been in a room with her. So I was like, yes, let's work on this. And then I didn't want to be in the majority because I didn't want to be up next round. So I actually ended up throwing my vote on Dustin, because I thought history can't repeat itself might come up kind of soon. And since we had kind of had an alliance, then I didn't want, even though a lot of people had probably already voted you before, I didn't want that to be an option for me.
I threw my vote that round too. Sorry.
Yeah, that's all.
Yo, you're good.
And that probably worked in my favor, Louie. Honestly, people throwing their vote, like, didn't really want to get Carolina out, but they were on the fence on keeping her for jury. So I was like, she got to go. It's either her or me. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, well, yeah, you had
Either
also
my vote on
commented on
Troy.
if she got voted out, might drag you. So I mean, it was to remove her.
Yeah, I just
before the
voted
drag
Troy
made
because I knew
sense.
no one was gonna vote Troy that round. That's just who I threw my vote on.
Yeah,
I would
Well,
have
that
done
also-
it.
Yeah.
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 So
to
yeah, like I
segue
said, I
into the
would have
next
thrown
one-
out. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say in that round also, Wes, you had a confessional where you said, if this works, I'm targeting Troy next. And that's
guess what?
it's exactly what happened.
You should have freaking dragged him. Wasted his LOS, and then I wouldn't have gone home.
That shit was so crazy. But then I got my what I wrote down back to back. So I got Carolina, and that's why I was feeling myself after that. I was thinking about like when in my confession, I was looking at the screen on who I really wanted out, and I remember first round I said Troy, and I'm like,
I know.
I gotta get you now because I don't have no fucking targets no more. I just got my target out, so I was like, and then I just
And that was perfect for me because I was going to use that.
And I'm like, Troy really isn't talking to people that much, and I did like you, Troy. Like that's why I gave you the 5 coins. Honestly, I really didn't know the twist, but I didn't want you to get voted out because you know.
No, I gotcha. I was definitely making like every round I was going in and like as soon as I got into rooms with people who I really enjoyed and like with Kels and Dustin and Rachel, like and my starting room, I was like, this is going good. Like I don't, just build those relationships as I'm going and hopefully get me far. And I trusted you, Jay West.
Sorry, man. I'm a wild
that very round.
Yeah. But look at Dustin. No, but seriously, Troy, if you would have like snapped on me a little bit, I'm like, you know what? You're right. Let's just get somebody else then. Because I think I even said to you in your face, I said, I'm coming for you now.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm kind of reckless.
No, I was in the room. You did.
I was in that room too. I was like,
I told you, Louie, I'm a troll on Twitter, but I'm a troll in your face too. I said that to you. I'm like, I'm sorry, Troy. I think I gotta come for you now. Like,
right. At first, I was just thinking like he was pushing Carolina. I voted Carolina with him, and now he's gonna try to target me. But I probably should have pushed really harder for it for sure.
And another thing I was thinking when I made that confessional, Louie, that was the drag round, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had the LOS.
Right before the drag round, yeah.
Yeah, that was right before. So I had the LOS. I was so happy. I'm like, now I get to be bold. I got my target out. Let's go.
I mean, that round, it was so beneficial to vote in the majority and hopefully not get dragged because then you'd be safe in the jury round. And for me, it was like, I don't have a vote in the jury round. I absolutely had to be in the majority. And when Jay West was going so hard at Troy, I was like, okay, I think this is the majority. And I kind of thought maybe Troy wouldn't drag me, although you probably considered me.
Yeah, I considered a lot of people. Like honestly,
he said Ryan. I thought we were going far at the end. I'm like, oh no!
I named up everyone. Like honestly, like when you called me out, Jay West, I honestly was thinking there's a reason. I was like, because I figured there for the couple rounds when we voted Carolina, I was just thinking like we were cool, and then I was like, why is he coming after me? There's a reason, and so that's why I was just like, I'm flipping it. I'm not going to try to push you at all, and I went to try to push Reno. Honestly, because he was also up too, and I wasn't going to push Rachel because I was really good with Rachel, and so I was like, he's my only last hope. And so I remember going to the room, and I was just like, guys, like, let's go for Reno. I know West is after me, blah blah blah. But like, let's just get to jury, and I'll deal with West when we get to jury, and we can just have it out then. And really, what my pitch should have been was also that I did not have a vote when I got to Final 9, and I completely forgot about that, and I should have pushed for that too, and maybe I would have gotten a little bit more votes, but. It didn't turn out that way, and I remember like looking at the people. It was all the guys too that voted for me.
I got confused that round. I thought if you didn't vote in the majority, you would be safe next round. So I threw my vote on Jay West because I thought I was going to be safe, but apparently that wasn't the deal. And I was like, oh shit, all the girls are up next round.
That really screwed the girls over for the most part because I knew that in drag rounds. Typically what usually happens is we hear a name because I heard your name so many times, Troy, and I was like, you know what? His name's out there so much. There is no way that everyone's going to do that. They're too scared. Well, it was the name that I heard the most that round. But I was like,
round because of me. Okay.
Yeah. And then I was just worried. I was like, I mean, I don't want to get dragged. I think the best option for me is to throw my vote because I think a lot of other people might throw their vote. Obviously, that didn't end up happening. I voted Reno because I was like, I don't think we've talked enough for him to want to drag me because it wouldn't be like a betrayal. But I thought you might consider me more for a drag. You would be like, wait, we were in a starting room together, girl. What are you doing? So.
Right.
That was
Yeah,
my downfall.
Troy, you actually convinced me to vote for Reno briefly. And I was saying, guys, I think I kind of want to vote for Reno. And then
I know,
Reno
and I
came in the
came
room
into
and I was
the
like,
room.
okay, well, I guess I got to backpedal and vote for Troy now. Because if I vote for Reno and he
timing.
sees my vote is exposed, he needs to see that I voted for Troy. Like at that point.
Yeah, I remember
My-
let's go ahead.
I decided to vote for you, Troy, at that moment because when you came into the room that I was in, because I think Ryan was in that room as well, you said like Jay West was pushing your name, and that if you were voted out, you were going to drag Jay West. And I was like, so why shouldn't I vote for Troy? Because he's not going to drag me. He just said he's going to drag Jay West. So I'm like, there's my vote, and that's what did it for me. It was like,
I feel like that's a curse in the minis. You never should say out loud who you're going to drag because now
until Final Four.
Yeah,
I was
until
definitely
Final Four,
flustered
yeah.
at that point, just trying to like grasp at anything. And I didn't even remember saying that, honestly. I was just really trying to save myself.
When Jay West was going at you so hard, I was like, I didn't even consider that Jay West, you might have an LOS because I was like, oh, this is great. Troy's going to drag Jay West. Great. I'm safe.
I
For
even
2 more
wrote
rounds.
Audrey in the thing. I said, "This is my time to turn up." That's exactly what I wrote. I said, "This is my time to turn up," because I had the LOS and I just got my target out. So I'm like, now it's a drag round. I get to tell people, I get to act crazy, and everyone's gonna assume that he's gonna drag me, which is rightfully so. I thought he was gonna do it. I'm like, yes, I'm making jury on this LOS
I
play.
was this close. I was so close, but there was that reason where I was just like, he's pushing me, but I knew you're hella entertaining, so that's why I was just like, I really want to make sure you
I
go to
wish
jury.
I was like, fuck, he didn't drag Jay
I
West.
know.
Leave
I
my
was like
call alone.
West, and then Reno, which I understood why you voted for me, Reno, and then Dustin. I was like calling you out, like I really thought we were gonna go far. Like I was so mad, and then Abby, I was like,
Troy,
I was ready to be a stepdad to Abby's plant children because like he had no class, so I was not gonna like let him go.
Who wrote down their names? 'Cause I
Sorry,
wrote
would
down
you
their
have
names.
dragged me if I voted you?
No.
Oh, damn it.
The reason why I dragged Cody was because his name was going around pretty much the entire like pre-jury. And I did not want him to have that as a thing when he gets further in the road. If he made jury, to be like, my name was always out there. I kept myself safe. And plus, we never really talked. Like, he was the one person that, like, he would bounce into rooms and we talked for 2 seconds. I was just like, I'm dragging him. So,
yeah.
I feel
When
like
you
it
dragged
is that we see that a lot with the drag rounds is that when there is an obvious person that the person you're voting out is going to drag, it doesn't happen because then everybody piles onto it and then that person gets upset because it's so clear who they're going to drag. They're going to drag someone else just to prove that point of you shouldn't have, voted for me because of that. So I feel like that happens. It's become kind of a trend of late.
Yeah.
When you dragged Cody, I was like, oh, it was like I could see the path to Final Four for myself because Cody was the only person that I was like afraid of going to jury with because I felt we had played similar games and he wasn't going to be as big of a target as Jay West or Angie or Dustin, and I wanted those people in the final. I wanted those people in the jury with me, as many big targets as possible, and so it was like, holy cow, this might actually work.
I was
crazy.
I was very aware of everyone's game. I feel too, like being that I wasn't in no one's final 2 or 3, I was just paying attention to everyone's resume. Like Louie, I told you I play for the resume, and I felt like Dustin had the strongest case because of how he was winning the votes over. So that's why I'm like, Dustin, do you want to play with me? Like, please, let's just play together because like I got even that round. I'm sorry, I'm skipping ahead in the podcast, but even that round I ended up getting voted out. I kept saying like, let's just still stay together because like it would be better for us. Like, but I don't know.
Yeah, we'll get there because I thought
that shit just tough to think about.
Troy, what were your thoughts on coming back? I feel like we need to see not just you back again, but obviously Anita win. I feel like we need to return to Anita win.
Was so good. Your intro video was iconic. It was so great.
Thank you.
Loved your video.
I did play only one time, and it was way back in the 5.9 mini. We came after 5.8, which was already still, people talk about 5.8. And so to come back after so many months and to play, like, I knew, like, I really wanted to make a good intro video. And I mean, I work in news, so it's like, let me make it news-y and create a character. I need to win because I'm ready to win. And but I absolutely love this cast. Oh my gosh, like playing with you guys, everyone had such amazing personalities. Like everyone fit. Like it was so great. And I'm really just happy to be a part of this. And, I if I had to change one thing, it was obviously my Carolina vote, and I'm so sorry. Like she, like love her to death, and I love all of you guys. So I'm happy with everything how it turned out, and good. Hope we talk later.
Thanks for coming
Love
on.
you.
And I have my Twitter.
Good to play with you.
Twitter.
You're awesome.
No.
Send nudes. Oh wow,
We'll
look
get
at
to
this.
that. We'll
Video
get to
still.
that.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Dustin, where's that
I'm
damn
still waiting
video?
for this.
We love pre-timed tweets.
Jesus
Thanks.
Christ.
Thanks, Troy. Thanks for coming on.
Bye.
All right, so that brought us to the next round. So, safe for surviving the drag with Jay West, Reno, Dustin, Abby, and Ryan. So the nominees, the only nominees, were the ladies: Rachel, Kira, Angie, and Kels. And there were only 4 votes left in the round, which was very interesting. This was, we all thought Angie was done. Angie was not done after the LOS, which I was so confused as to where it came from.
Listen.
Did you know where it came from?
It came from Rachel.
Rachel, I didn't.
Well, yeah,
know.
but
I
did
had no
you
clue.
know at the time? You didn't.
No,
I
was
knew.
like, okay.
That's
So
what I'm saying.
listen, I
I
was
thought
like,
you were full of shit, Angie.
I
I was
was
like, there's
like-
no way she played it for herself.
I was like, I have my messages with Audrey right now. I was like, LOS, give me something, baby girl. I'm struggling. Give me something. And then I was like, I vote Kira. And she's like, you don't have a vote. And I was like, it's worth the try. I was like scrambling. I was in a room alone when it was happening, when the vote went down. I was like, and LOS has been played successfully. And I'm like, no freaking way I'm still here.
So who had the
I
vote?
did.
Who had a vote? I had a vote.
Dustin.
Kira had a vote. Dustin had a vote. And
I
then who
think
else had a
Kira.
vote?
I
Rachel?
told you. Those
Rachel.
No, I
Rachel.
said Kira.
Oh yeah.
So Rachel
Well,
had a
'cause
vote.
I was with Kels, and I was like, "I'm sorry," and Rachel, I think, and I was like, "Girl," we were all in a room, and I was like, "Girls,
Yes,
I'm sorry,
yes.
we gotta go for Angie. Like, she's the only one not
Correct.
here. Obviously, we can't do each other because we're in the room, and like,
It was
I don't
just
know. I'm not that confident to throw out someone's name while they're right there."
No, and
Until
also
later.
like Kira, we talked for a total of like not even a minute that whole night.
Crazy.
Like we just constantly
longest-
missed each other.
The longest conversation we had was right after you had done the
Yeah, and I told you about the
and I
final
was like,
two.
"Girl, what's up? I'm so sorry we haven't talked. Give me."
I
the
know.
information."
It was unfortunate.
It was just unfortunate. Yeah, we were in a really
Sexist,
fast
pitting the
situation.
girls against each other.
I know.
It was just terrible.
so sad. But no, I was pushing so hard. But Rachel did not want to vote you, Angie, and she was
No.
like,
I know. Me and Rachel,
"Yes,
we
me and
connected.
her, I'll do it." And so as soon as that happened, I was like, "Uh-oh." I thought I was kind of like the other person that was gonna be up on the block. And I was just really worried that it was going to go to a tie. And I think it was a tie before, obviously, the LOS was played.
Dustin, did you really vote for me?
I did vote for you.
So then I guess Rachel
That was
must have.
2-1-1 then.
Yeah,
Wait.
2-1-1.
So then,
I think
No.
Audrey must have made a mistake saying that it was successful because like it can't be just based on who was voting.
No,
Wait,
it is
that's-
successful.
I have a
If it's
vote.
a tie and you take out half of that, that is
Yeah.
a successful play,
Yeah,
Yeah,
technically.
still successful.
No,
in
no.
the
but still, wouldn't we have gone for a
no.
tiebreaker?
It would have been a
round?
tie. Yeah, it would have been
I think
1-1.
was
It would have been a tie.
unsuccessful. It had to have been unsuccessful. If Dustin really voted for Kels, it had to be unsuccessful.
Dustin, I had
Okay,
no
wait, so
idea you had a
Rachel-
vote.
So who did Rachel vote for? She voted
Rachel didn't
She
vote
voted-
me. She probably.
Oh, she voted Kira.
She voted
Oh,
for
okay,
Kira.
so then- okay.
And
It was a
Kels, who did you vote for,
2-1-1.
Kels?
I
Okay.
voted for Angie.
Yeah,
Angie.
both
And
of
Kira
us
voted for
voted
Angie. So it was 2-1-1, which means the LOS play was unsuccessful.
Robbed, absolutely robbed. Sorry.
Well, didn't Rachel play it on Angie or no?
Yeah, but the thing is, then Kels
Then
and
it
I
should
would
have
have
been a
gone
tie.
to a
Okay, yeah.
tiebreaker, and I would have had more of a chance to possibly
weird.
defend myself.
Wait,
Oh, so
something's
that's
not
weird.
adding up.
Yeah.
Are you sure you voted for Kels, Dustin?
Yeah, got it right up there.
Yeah, he said, "Yep."
Yeah, because that's what I was talking about that last night. Because I was like,
Yeah.
I don't think that he really did. I think you made that up.
I was so
No, I
confused.
voted for you because
too.
like I had an alliance with Kira and I had my room 4 alliance with Angie and Rachel. So it's like
okay.
the only person I can vote for right now is Kels.
Okay.
So then Audrey made a mistake with
Maybe.
the-
That's what I was
I'm
thinking.
petitioning right now.
Please
we
do.
have to replay the game.
Please do. We'll play just the jury round. Jury phase.
Yes,
We always love here on
Take that
podcasts
crown
when
off.
it breaks
Definitely
when it breaks
take-
out into a game.
Wow.
We got almost everyone here. Let's do it.
Oh my gosh, no, because I
We
analyzed
we
that
only missing
from.
the mod.
Yeah.
I mean, I said I'll be.
Abby, yeah.
I know you meant.
And
Yeah.
Rachel.
And Rachel,
I was trying to think so hard of how that happened.
I didn't understand.
I was like,
knew
how did that?
You hadn't. You said you hadn't. I don't know, or somehow.
No, I didn't. I voted for Kels because like
That's
that
a
was
bummer.
really like with the people that were up. I'm like, this is the only way that like I can vote right now.
Are we sure?
Are we sure Rachel didn't vote for Angie and then still LOS?
She could have done that.
But then
Yeah.
it would have been a tie, Louie.
I'll ask her right
Then it
now.
would have
I'm
been a tie.
DMing her.
If Angie got 2 votes, then it was for sure a tie.
So then really, yeah, the game should.
So
like,
either Rachel voted for Kira and Angie voted for Kira, and the LOS was played unsuccessfully.
I didn't have a
You
vote.
didn't have a vote.
Oh,
Who was the other vote then? Well, there was us and then Rachel.
Yeah.
right. So and Kels, who did you vote for? You voted for Angie.
I voted for Angie.
No, it doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
So it should have been a 1-to-1 tie between Kira and Kels. That's what it should have been, is what you're saying.
I think so. Yeah, let me do this.
Because Kira voted for Angie and Kels voted for Angie. So Angie definitely had 2 votes. And Rachel voted for
Because every
Kira.
time I go
Yeah.
out, it's some random thing that
I know,
like
but that's a mistake in the game.
it's
I wonder-
so
Serious
I
mistake.
wonder. Yeah, that's nuts.
I'm just-
Well, I wish we had Rachel
Yeah.
here to find out who she voted for.
Or did Abby have a vote?
no, there's
it was
only
just-
4 people that had votes.
I know, but
Yeah,
could
it
it have
was
been Abby instead of Rachel? Because maybe Rachel didn't have a vote.
Oh,
Yeah,
maybe.
maybe
That's
it could have been
possible.
Robbie.
Very possible.
But even still, no matter who he voted for, right?
Yeah,
Um,
I guess it doesn't
If
matter.
it was unless he voted for Kira and
Unless
it
he
was an
voted Kira, he
unsuccessful
could have
play.
voted Kira. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe the LOS was unsuccessful.
And maybe the LOS was played for me. Maybe, I mean, we still really don't know. That's so
yeah,
unsure.
that's true. Maybe he voted
True.
for Kels and the LOS was played for Kels.
It's crazy because it was so like the way the round was going, it seems so
Yeah.
sure that Angie was done. Because
Yeah.
you were running, and you probably perpetuated that even more because you were running for your life, basically
I
saying, "I'm
was.
out, I'm done, I'm out."
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just if that wasn't played, obviously I was like I couldn't find rooms where everyone was in, and then I
That's
was
so
in a room
weird.
with Kels. Then she left me, and I was like, okay, this is going down. I'm going out. I was like, she just ditched me. I was so hurt by that, and I was like, it's just freaking over.
Well, it's so
I was-
interesting
yeah.
if Rachel did play her LOS on you, Angie. Rachel and I truly did have parallel games because at that point I was saving you no matter
Yeah,
what.
I thought you
I
played
needed
it on
you
me
in
at
this game
first.
so bad.
I thought you played it on me. I was like,
Yeah.
who played LOS on me? I was
I
like,
would
I
have
had no
if I had
idea.
one. I absolutely would have right there if I had one. So you would have had
Rachel
2
owned up to
LOSs
it,
playing
though.
on you.
No,
Rachel,
yeah.
Rachel
I
owned
just
up to it.
missed
Like
it.
I was in a room with her when she saved you, and I'm like, "Did you just save her or some shit?" And she was like, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh yeah." She said, and then
I
later
fucking
on,
love her.
and then like later on, because like I said, we really didn't play together, so she really didn't even talk to me that much. And then like later on in the jury phase, Angie kept saying like, "Who saved me? Who fucking saved me?" And then she raised her hand. I'm like, I already knew that shit. It was
Yeah.
definitely her. Like,
Yeah.
So
Art
it
was
did, lead,
alive,
it did lead
you
to
know.
possibly the most iconic dance in Sequester Mini history.
Wait, was this the booby bags round or was that later?
I think that's the next round.
Clip of it, and I literally quoted it. I was like, "Who let me play this game?" I'm like, "Why did I do that?"
But Kira, I was very happy when the rooms came on last night. I was thrilled to see you in there because I feel like we've been waiting to see you. This is third time, right? This is your third game?
Third time. I made it to jury, so that's good at least.
Yeah, it was definitely your best, and I think watching the minis and participating in them, we definitely saw your best game yet. What was your thoughts on it overall?
This is the most chaotic cast by far. Which not saying that's a bad thing at all. But throughout this whole game, I think I started out really aggressive because I put out Jay West's name. I was like, I was scared of you. I was scared of you out of the gate. And then I realized I was playing a little bit too hard at the beginning, and I didn't want to get targeted for that. So I kind of calmed down a little bit, played a little bit more under the radar for a while and I made, I think, some strategy moves behind the scenes that you might not have picked up on as a viewer. And then, I don't know, at the very end, it's a mystery. Could I have gone farther? The
Right
world
now.
will never know. And now and go farther. I don't know what else to say except for that.
Well, it's always nice to go out if you're robbed, because I feel like you come back real quick.
Now we got to run it back with the jury face.
I know.
That's like, fuck no.
What happens? Like when Rachel writes back, I want to know.
Yeah. And before you head
I have
out,
the
how did you
screenshot
decide
here.
on your jury vote?
I unfortunately had not seen Rachel's game very much. Every time I popped into a room with her, we were like, "Yeah, we're so good. Let's work together. We'll keep going and stuff." Or not Rachel. Wow, Kels. I'm so sorry.
Oh, me. Oh, me. Hi.
Oh my gosh. It's because I'm still stuck on the LOS. That's stuck in my head. I can't get over it. But no, as soon when we popped in, we always talked and we were on good terms.
Yes.
But at the end, I had seen more of Dustin's game, and I really just thought that his moves were more visible to me. So that's really was the ultimate factor. Not that you played a bad game at all. I thought your game was wonderful. It's just that we didn't have as much contact throughout the game.
Absolutely.
Thank you for coming on, Kira.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Kira. Wish we could have seen each other more.
Me too.
Bye.
Bye.
So that moves us to the next round. It was interesting, Kels, because I feel like this is when your game, like this round, next round, actually started to turn on, and it became very apparent of how good of a game you were playing. Like it was quiet. You were playing a great social game early on, and then as we started to get to like mid jury, you turned it on as a player, which was fun to see. And you also have one of my favorite final two performances ever, but we'll get into that later.
Yes, fucking yes.
So this brought us to the safety chain round, where Ryan, you got safety first, and this resulted in Reno's elimination. So how did we get to there? I feel like the final decision was the main decision, like the main thing that stuck out there. Talk a little bit about how we got there.
Yeah, I mean, so first of all, the wheel came up my way twice in the game, and then it cost me the game at the end. So I can't complain too much. But in any case, I mean, I wanted to do kind of what I did in the Sequester mini game, which was try to just like get information. And then once someone was like, "I'll give it to whoever you want," I was like, "Okay,
that was me. I started that.
No one is going to tell me."
I said that immediately as soon as it came on. Then I was like, "This was the beginning of his Sequester mini journey. Was the safety chain."
And so I was like,
I'm glad he asked me first, though. That's what made me trust Ryan a lot, because he was like, "Jay West, who would you give it to if I saved you?" I said, "Oh, I have a partner now."
I mean, so I did that. I chose you because I wanted you around. I wanted you to get saved. And I was considering giving it to you, Jay West. And when Angie blurted out, "I'll give it to you whoever you want," I actually believed her.
After
and
last
I knew
round,
I wanted
was
Angie
like,
around for the same
I'll
reasons.
do anything anyone says. Like after last round, I was like, I need to save my own ass.
I was trying to say that too, but Angie's
but I
laughter.
said it first.
As soon as Angie said it, it was like, okay, no one's going to give me any names. I just have to pick someone now. And the goal was to keep as many big targets in the game as possible. So at that point, I was like, I'm going to give it to Angie. I would have given it to you, Kels, if I was playing a straightforward 100% loyal game, just because you were my number one for sure. But I also knew your social game was so good that someone was going to save you along the way. I was not worried about you being last. The person that I wanted to be last was Reno, because I had screwed up so badly in the round where he walked into the room and I was like, guys, I want to vote out Reno. And then I had to like do so much work to convince you, Reno.
Can I just say something about this? Because I was trying the round before this, when we were safe, I was trying so hard to get in a room alone with you. And the pitch that I was going to try to make was, Ryan, look, I know I've thrown your name out earlier. I know you've been throwing my name out, but like we are not each other's biggest threats to get to the end of the game. That's going to prevent us from winning this game.
Yeah.
I like a couple rounds before that with the bot coin and the Stephanie vote. I'm like, there's two people in here that are really like playing chess while the rest of us are playing checkers. And those two people, in my opinion, were Duston and Jay West. And I was like, if we can join up to try to take one of them two out, or at least kind of use Jay West, because Jay West is the type of person where if he thinks his name is being thrown out there, he's going to go after that. So I was trying to maybe see if we could get something together to try to spread to Jay West that Dustin was throwing his name out to get.
I would have taken you up on that deal, but I don't.
I was trying to get alone with you just so that
it
didn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
I figured it would have worked, but it just
Dustin, man, you should have been sitting next to me, man. You should have been fucking. I had so much written down. I had ripped it up. I was about to. Oh my god.
Yeah, for sure. We'll definitely get there.
Jay West,
Yeah.
I thought initially when you were deciding, I thought you were gonna save Reno. It was like you did
See,
a little
I-
fake out.
Yeah,
I know.
I really wanted to make him sweat. I'm sorry. No, see, look, I apologize, Reno, but it's honestly,
I think
it's
you
honestly,
owe Abby the apology
no,
too, actually.
No, but it built trust with Albie. He didn't want to play with anybody else but me after that, and I felt safe keeping him because we made decisions together during the game before jury. So I'm like, it's easier. Even though me and Reno, we started the game room one, we was going to stay loyal to room one. We really never even seen each other, and I honestly remember Angie coming into the game saying Reno had a final two with somebody. So I'm like, shit. He's not playing with me.
The final two was with the other person in our room.
In a room,
which should
Cody,
show that we are loyal.
Yeah, but Cody wasn't in no
gone.
more. Yeah,
I
Cody
know.
was
So who
gone
else
too.
could I have been loyal to? Even though it would not have been you, it would have been Abby. But it's okay.
Yeah, Abby was playing an awesome social game at that point. Like he had a lot. He had me for sure that round. I knew he was going to be safe in the safety chain. I wanted to save someone who might have been last that I wanted to stay in the game.
Yeah.
So I thought Angie would have been last.
So I honestly, it was a win-win for me. Like if I would have saved Reno, he would have stayed loyal. You would have stayed loyal. With
I
me.
would have. If you had,
Yeah.
I would have. I obviously couldn't have stayed loyal to Abby, and then I would have. And I wanted Dustin out. Like I knew that you and Dustin were playing the strongest games, but I wanted Dustin out before you because
because I would have saved you. Yeah.
And that
that
I
would've
knew you would have
worked.
been loyal. Yeah.
Yeah. Damn. I'm sorry. What the
It's
fuck?
okay. It's okay.
Jay West.
I was happy that it was a regular safety chain because I felt like this cast lent more to having just a regular safety chain because you all were such big personalities that it was exciting to watch.
Yeah, you guys almost
Reno,
ruined my hearing.
Sorry.
It's hard talking over Angie.
No, sometimes you just gotta be the one.
Well, we're about to get into that because I have
we'll
that
get
in my
into that.
notes. I have that in my
Oh my
notes
God.
to discuss too. But Reno, I feel like there's only like you always have a mini that you take pride in, or one that like when you see someone from the cast, you get excited that any of them are in. I only have one, despite all the times I've played, and that is Emo Night. Anytime I see anybody from Emo Night, I am proud. So I was so happy to see you back there and
Thank you,
immediately had a
Louie.
rooting interest.
I wasn't sure if you were going to be rooting for me, and I'm like, I don't know how much Louie likes me in this, but
Anybody
I don't-
from Emo Night, I'm always behind.
Thank you.
What were your thoughts on playing this?
I mean, 4 times to get to jury. I don't know how good I am at this, but I did try my best. That drag round always gives me PTSD because I know that's a weird thing to say, but like 2 out of the 4 times I played, I've been voted out. I've either voted out at the drag round or I'm dragged out at the drag round, which happened last time. So it was nice to get past there, but I really like this. I think that this cast was absolutely amazing. Y'all have really amazing personalities, and I'll definitely want to come back again. Just need a little bit of a break.
Did you vote for Dustin or me?
Okay, so in the final 2, my questioning. So, Kels, I believe that you played probably one of the strongest social games here, and I had a really good connection with you.
Yes.
But what I didn't see was the strategy move, and then Dustin was kind of the opposite. So that's why I kept trying to say, what was your best strategic move?
Absolutely.
And I think what you highlighted most was just the whole throwing of a vote. And Dustin, like, I just felt like I needed a little bit more for strategy.
No, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. Being the greatest of all time, you
You
have
are.
to learn from your mistakes. So I learned that.
Yeah.
So I went back, I rewatched my game, and I'm well aware because people that said, "Oh, she can't be the greatest because she doesn't know that she's messing up." No, I know. I'm fully aware. So like that lets me know that I know what I got to do next time. Okay, to continue my legacy. Thank you.
You are.
Yes.
Yes,
in
you
my
win
mind.
one. And then I voted. So for Dustin, I'm like, that's why I asked him, what do you think is your biggest flaw? And when he said the social game, I would say, okay, at least he kind of recognizes, because you were doing a couple things that were a little bit off-putting to a lot of people with the whole, like, when people were kind of going out and it's like, yeah, I'm going to vote for you, bitch, or something like, or I don't know. Did you say that?
To Jay West, he did. He did to Jay. Well, maybe not bitch. You may not have said
I don't know.
bitch.
I heard.
I was definitely very,
very in your face kind of thing. And so I said, okay, I think I'm gonna go with Dustin on that. It was a hard decision either way. I'm sorry, Kels, but
I'm not mad. I'm not mad
yeah.
because I get to rise up out of the ashes like a phoenix. So
like a phoenix, exactly.
Kels is playing tonight. I have a feeling.
No.
Oh my God!
I really hope so.
Don't sleep.
Dustin, I will say, just from what I've heard, be prepared for Winners at War because it is.
Yeah.
It's not just. It starts
Especially
now.
being the second one in.
Yeah, like
a
it doesn't
long time.
start at the game. It starts now, and by the end of it, you're just gonna be like, ugh.
He's excited.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, poor Dustin.
Thank you.
Oh.
Thank you
What
for
a-
coming on,
what a-
Reno. We appreciate
Thank
it.
you so much, Louie.
All
Bye,
right,
guys.
talk to you soon.
Bye, Reno.
Bye, Reno.
All right, so this brought us to the next round, which was the bounty round, which I feel like was probably the most iconic round of the mini. It was just complete chaos. So it ended with a tie between Angie and Abby and Angie, and then Abby was eliminated. So how did we get there? There was a lot of yelling. I feel like
Listen.
I am a
I need to say
proponent of
something.
Angie. You got it.
There's a method to my madness, guys. I play a lot of Google Hangout. Zoom, Big Brothers and Survivors. And sometimes you just gotta stand your ground and talk over people. And I know it's kind of a bitchy thing to do, but sometimes if they don't have that fire under them, then they should go home. If they don't
that's how I felt about Troy. That's how I felt. You spoke my mind like just now.
Yeah.
Like, that's how I felt. But I love Troy to death.
And
but I
felt
it.
Yeah, I felt really bad for doing it because like
I wonder if you had spoken if you had spoken to Jay West and said this to him and said, let's vote together. We don't have to be against each other.
So that round, my bounty was actually Kels. I lied to y'all and said my bounty was y'all probably didn't believe me, but yeah, I said my bounty was Angie.
And Dustin didn't say anything when he had me.
Yeah, and then
I was fine with the vote. I was like,
because only reason I was fine. Only reason I was fine not getting my bounty out because I didn't care to like go far. No offense with Kels. I mean, I wanted to go to the end, like just like with Dustin, like with his story. But at the end of the day, it didn't work in my favor because I thought I was gonna be the deciding vote the second time around. I just assumed that y'all was gonna stay true to y'all vote, and now I threw my vote, purposely telling y'all that I had a different bounty, but my bounty was really Kels.
oh, well, then who was the deciding vote?
I was.
Ryan.
I flipped.
No.
Oh yeah,
Ryan
he flipped the second time. Yeah, Ryan.
Yeah, I flipped, and the reason I did is because I thought it was going to be Angie, so I wanted to just vote in majority and whatever. When it was a tie, I was like, "Oh, this is my chance to stab Abby in the back." Sorry, Abby. I really feel bad about this.
I think no one knew how close me, Dustin, and Rachel were because of the starting.
We
no
were
one knew.
tight.
No, I
We
didn't.
didn't even
and
have to see each other to know that we were good.
I
We
knew.
just knew.
I knew if Angie was still in the game and Jay West was still in the game, that like at that point going to 6 with both of you still in the game, that gives me a ton of flexibility
Jay
for
West.
targets, right?
I mean, we're both crazy in the head.
You should have just said, Jay West, I'm voting with you. I'm like, all right.
So even though Abby was loyal to me and he probably wouldn't have dragged me had we made Final Four, I don't think I make Final Four if it's Abby there instead of Angie.
Okay.
Because I don't have Angie as a target. That's why in the next round, I immediately was like, guys, we have to get rid of Angie. And then the round after that, when Jay West played his idol, I was like, we have to get rid of Jay West because I was like, this is how I get to the Final Four is by having Angie and Jay West in there. And so having that opportunity to flip was like super helpful to my game.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know how close myself and Rachel were, but I think my sister called it. She was watching. She said that I was at the bottom of the friendship totem pole. Like, I think people were willing to vote with me and play with me, but I was definitely at the bottom. Like Dustin and Angie were closer than I was to either of them. And the same thing with Rachel. So I voted the first time that Audrey gave me a name, she gave me Ryan. And I was like, that's not going to happen. So I would just, and then she gave me Dustin. And I was like, at that point, I knew that Rachel wasn't going to vote against you and Angie wasn't going to vote against you. So I was like, it's pointless for me to even say who my target, my bounty was. So
that's why I said, Rachel, you're my bounty, but I'm not voting for you because I knew I couldn't get the votes on her anyways.
No.
So I might as well tell her and try to build loyalty or whatever, right?
I thought it was interesting too that Rachel threw out Abby, which didn't seem to be an option at the time, but she actually did target her bounty, which is something that usually doesn't happen there.
Yeah, no, Rachel played a great game, and if I think if I had gone to the end with Rachel, I would have lost. Because now I'm hearing so much about her game, and it was really good, and she actually had the receipts.
This round I was not a loyal alliance person because my bounty was Angie, and when Jay West threw Angie's name out there, I was like,
I figured.
Well, here we go. So I wrote down Angie's name twice in the first vote and in the tiebreaker.
Okay.
But it didn't work. So there you go.
I will say, I mean, one of the reasons I'm maybe the biggest Angie fan at this point, because I love I feel like that is the biggest. I mean, that's how I play my game. There's very different ways you can play Sequester, which is why Sequester is so fascinating. Like you can do it in a whole different kind of style, but the style that you play is the style that I play, is that if you can talk enough and you can control a conversation and talk over people, the odds are people will vote with you. And I feel like there's, some people don't love that, but I also feel like if it works, it works. Because I mean, it's a valid strategy. It's a valid strategy.
Obviously I'm on the chopping block again. Like I'm literally standing up on my chair. Like don't vote me. I'm standing up on my chair. Actually, like there's clips of it somewhere on Twitter.
It's a strategy. It doesn't come without costs though, for sure. Like Joe the Show is a great example. Like he got to the end once, but then he gets targeted a lot because he's such a big personality.
Right.
At first, I knew I shouldn't play it strong. At first, I was like, oh, hi, guys. I keep getting kicked out of rooms, so this is, like, the only room I'm in. I was, like, trying to play shy. I don't know. I did it to so many people. I was, like, trying to pull on heartstrings. I was like, I keep getting kicked out because of room limit. I haven't been able to talk to anyone.
Worked on me.
Yeah, that's why I felt like I really switched it up, because usually I just play aggressive the whole game because it's fun. But this time I played, I switched it up.
That's the same for me. I always play aggressive too, right out the gate. That's what I did in my last mini, and I didn't do well. And so I was like, this time, you know what? I'm just trying to make it far. And I'm just going to chill as much as I can. And I think I would have lost because I chilled too much, probably.
Right.
Yeah. So after that brought us to the next round where Rachel had immunity. And this was basically Angie and Jay West gunning for each other. Kels, you had my favorite quote of the night when you said that you wanted Jay West out because he had played professionally. Which, I mean, technically,
love it.
Was this the booby bag moment? Was the booby bag?
Yeah.
Guys, I say that a lot. Like, when Jay West was like, "There's something going on." I was like, "Hell yeah, there's something going on. We got big celebrities, big booby bags." And then I was like, "Yeah, that's when I knew I got my ladies."
Yeah,
the best alliance
y'all
of all time.
Understand, like what Louie said. When I hear my name, it's pretty much like I'm like a loose dog now, and I really was getting out my targets. That was surprising to me, and I was like, all right, so I didn't even have a final two with anybody either. You know what I mean? I didn't even save my last guy who was in a room with me, who's starting a room with me. You know what I mean? So that's how reckless I was playing. But I felt like I had a great game. So to hear that I played a professional game, even though it was super messy, I can't even talk about it. I'm proud, I guess now.
Yeah, I would say you played professionally because you played in the outside leagues, the majors.
Yeah, I'm glad I
humble pie
left
again
on a LOS. I'm so glad I left because I got LOS'd out. Like I'm glad it wasn't any other reason.
Yeah, I think all of us watching we knew that it was going to end badly in that round because
Rachel had an LOS.
Yeah.
If I had talked to her and found her before, if we talked in a separate channel or a separate chat, she would have played it on me. But
wow.
Oh wow.
Yeah, who would have gone? I wonder.
I have no idea.
If Rachel had played one on you and then voted for someone else, that would have been interesting. Probably it would have been me, almost for sure, actually.
Yeah, and I remember another thing.
Because I don't think she was going to vote you out, Kels.
Wait, so Rachel had another LOS at 6 that she didn't use?
So she just kept it as a souvenir?
Yeah.
I guess.
Or no, she played it on herself, I bet. Right? Because wasn't there one unsuccessful?
Yeah, I guess that must have been it.
Yeah, there's another one. I was like, there's another clip on Twitch that I got tweeted at. It's like, it's the battle of the bad bitches. Take a fucking compliment, Jay West. You're going. I'm just talking this shit, and you're just smiling because you had that LOS. You knew you were staying,
great.
and that's just like the cherry on top is that you knew you were staying, and I'm just talking all this shit, just trolling at that point.
Jay West, did you consider voting for anyone else there, knowing that you were safe as to what would be the best move for you going into 5?
Well, I look at the target threat now. I already knew I was a big target, and especially playing my LOS was going to paint a bigger target on my back.
Right.
And I knew Angie was gunning for me, but I didn't know I was going to get her to want to play with me. I knew Dustin was great. Like the whole game, he was playing great. So I was just like, damn. I thought we was on the same page too. Honestly, I was just like, that's why I was so shocked that he just flipped the script on me when everybody else wanted to vote me out. So I was willing to get Kels out that time. Like I can't even talk. That round when it was time for me to go, I was willing to throw my vote on Kels and just to make it like a harder for everybody else. I don't know. At the end,
I did appreciate that you threw out. When you knew everybody was gunning for you, you were like, how about this? I got another LOS.
Yeah, I tried to lie and say,
That was funny.
You can't even use them anymore. It's over.
Like, too bad you can't use anymore.
Well, when we get to that round, I definitely have thoughts for sure.
Yeah,
but,
we can go into the round. Everybody can
Does
stay. We're
Angie-
almost at the end. Here
we-
we go.
Am I signing off?
Unless you want to stay, you can stay because we got.
should
I mean,
stay.
we got rooms. Yes.
Angie, you voted for
Justin. Well,
absolutely.
listen, Kels,
That's
you
the
had me.
support.
You had me when you said I was the most robbed, and like you were just making me laugh. So I deleted my message, and I was like, I vote for Kels. Then Dustin was talking, and I deleted it, and I was like, I vote for Dustin. I was like, I just like because I personally like to play a loyal game, and I was with Dustin from the start. So
Right.
that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
It was
So
close.
at 5, Kels, you were safe with trivia.
Yes.
And
Yes.
yes, and then it
Only one that
resulted-
gets-
Wait. Actually, can I sign off? Sorry, I have to go.
Oh, yeah.
I have to
Oh,
go.
Angie.
No problem. Let me
Okay.
show
Great
Sorry,
game,
sorry.
Angie. Legend.
I just
Hold on,
want to say,
let me find your banner. There we go.
Thank you. Follow me on Twitter, guys. I use Twitter a lot. I do stream on Twitch and do YouTube, so if you want to subscribe and follow me there. Anyway, gotta do the quick promo. Shout out to Lewis. Lewis really helped me figure out how the game worked and like just gave me tips. And shout out to the Babbages. You know who you are. Just my little friend group and everyone else that was supporting me. Thank you. And I do plan on playing, but maybe not anytime soon because I don't think it's a good idea because I feel like I'll be a target. But yeah, it was fun playing with all of you. I love this cast. It's like chef's kiss, like the best, the absolute best.
I said it last night, Angie. I think you are in, you'll be in All Stars. Like if there's an All Stars, you're in it now. Like you're remembered. So yeah, I think you have a ticket there.
All right.
Well, thank you
that's
for
it.
coming on.
No problem. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. So so trivia. Kels was safe very quickly. I stepped away for like 2 seconds. I came back and you had immunity already. What did I miss?
Yeah. He had some RuPaul's Drag Race posters in the background. I remember that. I was like, oh, I love those. So yeah.
Oh fuck! Damn, I had Cody mixed up with somebody else.
Yeah.
Yep, I did too.
It's so funny. I wrote down
Cody.
everyone's total number of posters and art except for Cody, apparently, because I looked at my notes and I was like, I don't have anything. Oh well.
I didn't know they asked those kind of questions. Yeah. But, yeah.
Wouldn't have mattered. Yeah, I mean, so this round I came out the gates hard.
Yeah.
I came out the gates hard for Jay West. I actually think in retrospect is probably a mistake. I probably should have said Jay West and Kels, let's vote out Dustin. That would have been better for my final four, maybe. Because Jay West would have been I think we all three would have voted for Jay West then. And maybe, I don't know who you would have dragged, but maybe it would have been me. But I knew that Dustin and Rachel were for sure dragging me. So going to the end with them was not smart.
I was going to thinking about it today. I was, obviously think about what to say, but today I was thinking about just volunteering to drag me at 4. I think I've watched Sharifa do that one mini, and she was just like, she got out of it, out of being so fucking big of a target, which I'm like, how the hell she still gets a 4 by she just volunteered herself?
Yeah.
How about y'all just drag me at 4? Please, just I'll be the one that y'all can all vote out at 4. And I didn't even think about that because I'm like, well, but honestly, I want to give a shout out to MP, Mary Payton. I watched, obviously, that's my girl. We've played live games together. We played mini games together. And when the mini that she won, I played, but in the winner at war mini, when she had the LOS, when Muna went out that round, she had it, I think, the same time as me, like the same in this game. So, and it's crazy because, you know, we always get targeted for this live thing. And MP is somebody with a big heart. She's going to trust anybody. And to never play her LOS in the game when people always lie is crazy. So I wanted to give it a try. And I actually made it pretty far playing bold and messy, still not playing my LOS. So she just said, give it a try. And look, it worked in my favor until it was the last time for me to play my LOS. So I don't know.
Yeah, it was great.
I always say it. It's a lot of times I prefer not to have one because it makes you change your entire game, and you're constantly questioning yourself as to when you should use it and when you should play it or if you should save it. Like the only game I really used mine successfully, I didn't know I had it till the final 6, and then I saw that I had it and used it and it worked. So it's like, you know,
that's like ideal, right?
Yeah, Audrey had to remind me. She's like, "Did you see the Skype message?" And I was like, "What?" And I had gotten it in round 2, and I just never saw it because I was so focused. And then I almost got voted out.
She reminded me, and I responded back, "Oh, I know." That's oh, I was waiting because I was like, they're teaming on me.
So it is a lot of times beneficial to, you know, just say, I'm going to keep this in the final round and just go completely for it every round like it's my last round. So I feel like it's, you know, it's a good way to play.
I guess more so being a player like me, I can't relate this to nobody else, but I'm super like somebody that I don't care about going out. I mean, I do care, obviously. We all want to play this game to win, but it's no reward. You know, at the end, like it's a reward, like to have the title of the best strategic player. But say, for instance, one of us get this next opportunity to play tonight, and I'm in a winner at war mini with you. You know what I mean? So I just say, play your hardest every time, and it's going to look better for the cast. You know what I mean? That's how I feel. And I just play hard all the time. And sometimes people, they get scared because they want to go far. They want to coast. They don't want to go out. You know what I mean? They just scared to get out of the game, and I'm not scared of that at all because I'm like, in the mini community, it's so many opportunities to play private minis, live minis. So that's why I'm like, just keep playing hard, keep trying to scare people.
That's good advice, and it makes the more entertaining minis.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And that's what Audrey casts everyone for, because she like, you know, I mean, and I'm not trying to speak for Audrey because she, you know, I really don't talk to her that much. But all honesty, she just like, I feel like that's what the minis are for. You know what I mean? We all love these games. We really do.
Yes.
And when you get the opportunity to play a mini, it's like it's not Big Brother. It's not even Sequester Live. You know what I mean? But it's fun as fuck. Like I'm hooked. Like I don't know what, I can't tell you when I'm gonna play again because we can't spill the tea. But I just really want to play again. Like, you know what I mean? Like
you already been asked?
No. But look, I love these minis. I actually got this laptop for the minis. So I told Audrey for the longest. I'm like, I gotta get in here. She's like, you're gonna play. And I'm like, oh, it's the seasons? I'm playing season 3. I'm only gonna play. I'm gonna go play for season 3.
I'll play season 3.
Right.
That's great.
It's great. And now you're in. Now we're gonna see a lot more of you, hopefully. So that's
fuck around. I got for different Jay Wesses, you know.
Alter egos. Thank you for feel free to. Well, let's talk a little bit about your jury vote as well. How did you decide on who you were voting for to win?
Well, I'm a gamer, man. I respect the game. I'm a hard player, like and I I voted for Dustin, and it's not no ill will like between me or Kels, I guess, you know. But I voted for Dustin because I just felt like he played a great game, and it was bold. Like everyone seen him, you know, getting the rewards he was getting, you know, and I respected that. So that's why I wanted to play with him, you know, and it was easy for me. That's why but I even told you at the final 2, when I questioned you, I said, the jury already pretty much got their mind made up. So what do you think is important in the mini world? You know, because I heard that a lot. They said, what do you think is important? What do you think is important? This is before Ryan even came to jury. You know, he didn't get the chance to talk with us. So they were saying, like, I think she was more social or strategic. And I was like, yeah, she's very social, because when you got the social game, you got the free range to be wild because your friends trust you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think she was super trustful, but like you said, you was at the bottom toe of all your friends. You know what I mean? And I was too, because I didn't
You're at the top with me, Kels.
Aw.
Yeah, I voted for Dustin.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I mean, I feel that, and I respect that. I totally do. Looking back, Dustin, there was those two things that you did that set you apart, and I mean, tons of other things along the way, but those were huge. I mean, I was like very impressed. And then we'll get around to the final speeches. So let's.
Yeah, I have so much to say about that. Because Kels, I liked you the whole way through. I liked you, and then in the final two, you became one of my favorites ever. So it was like a whole other level because it came out of nowhere.
I missed a couple calls, but I'm gonna go.
All right, thank you, Wes. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Louie, man.
West.
Thank y'all, everybody, man. For real, I love y'all.
Absolutely.
8/21. Congrats.
Yes.
We have the date. All right, so at 4, so I mean, we don't see it go to a Final Four wheel all that often. Like, it's pretty rare that somebody doesn't flip, and it says something that nobody flipped, but we got the wheel. So let's discuss a little bit how we got to the elimination.
So we'll start with the fact that Ryan is amazing, and I was like, I'm playing with Ryan. But Ryan did threaten my existence in the game, and I broke
came out
my
of the
heart.
gate hard. Came out of the gate.
Yeah.
I was surprised by that.
I owe you, Kels, because, well, for many things, obviously, but the biggest thing that you helped me with here was it's always my strategy going into a Final Four where I know that the other two players are going to drag me for sure. I have to go to a wheel, right? I just knew I have to go to a wheel here. There's no way I'm going to make it to the end if I don't. And so my goal was to make you convince you that you had to vote with me, and unfortunately I didn't know you well enough to know that you wouldn't respond to a threat the way that other people would. And to your credit, you really helped me by saying, say that another way, Ryan, because I know you don't mean that. and that was like, oh no, I might have just totally screwed myself. So I really appreciate you being willing to listen and be patient with me to get around to the right way of telling you, listen, we have to vote together. Because at the end of the day, I don't think I would have had the guts to drag you had you flipped on me. I think it would have been really hard for me to drag you because we had such a tight bond through the game without ever having to be in the same room together.
Barely.
It was just like, I knew that because we're in the starting room together and because you and I were the first two in there, that I could trust you the whole game, and I just didn't need to worry about what was going on with Kels. Like, she was going to have my back for sure. So
absolutely.
So to get to the Final Four and have that be proven was like, okay, I can actually get this to go to a wheel maybe, and maybe actually be in the final two. Unfortunately, it would have come at your expense.
Absolutely,
because you would have had to lose the wheel for me to make final two, and at the end of the day, I probably still would have lost. But it was the only play I had, right? Like, because I went to the end with Rachel and Dustin, I had no other play but to do it the way I did. Because Dustin wasn't gonna vote for anyone else but me. You know, and Rachel wasn't gonna vote for anyone else but me, and neither of them were gonna drag anyone else but me.
Absolutely. Yeah, I noticed that. And then I started doing some math because I realized that if we were able to somehow convince them to vote with us, then I would be able to go to final two with you. But I realized that if any other way that this worked out, I was going to go home because they were going to send me home, or you were going to get sent home. And then I thought maybe you would drag me. So I thought that you might drag me, but you said you wouldn't. But
I might have, but I don't think I would have had the guts. It's too hard. Like, I always think to myself, like, in this situation, you have to drag the person, because if you make Final Four again, nobody's going to believe you. Right.
Right.
So, but also on the other hand, I'm probably not going to make Final Four again. So, like, why would I be a dick, you know?
Well, I thought there was a 75% chance that I was going to go home. And then I thought there's a 50% chance if we go to the wheel. So I was like, let's do the wheel. That's better math. So
better odds. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was doing those odds too, for sure. It was tough. It was really tough.
It was crazy.
When I got to this phase, I knew, because me and Rachel started in the same like starting room, and just for some reason that starting room, we were just like tight, like right from the beginning. Like, we just clicked immediately, and our chemistry was just so great. Like,
we didn't even outside of literally the first few seconds of the game, I did not reconnect with anyone from room 4 until we all got together when it was the final 8, and we just when it passed around, we passed it over to each other, and I just saw the math happening. I'm like, half of these people that are still left in the game are in my starting room, and we're just tight.
Yeah.
And so at that moment when it was the 4 of us, even if I'm fairly certain I would have lost to Rachel, I was going to go with her. She's my ride or die. We're going to do this. We're going to go to a wheel. It's the ultimate, it's the all in. This is it. We're doing it. This is the end of the game.
It was exciting. It was really exciting for sure.
We went to a wheel.
It was, and you know what the bummer is in that situation, it was obvious neither of us were going to the end with our partners.
No,
it was just never going to happen.
Right.
And that's one of the big heartbreaking parts about the Sequester method for Final Four, which I do think is the best strategically dense method of Final Four in all of reality competition games. And the heartbreaking thing is when you have 2 pairs that go to the end, neither pair is going to get to be there with their partner. It just it can't possibly work unless someone flips. It could have worked if I truly did drag you, Kels. If you flipped on me and I dragged you, that would be the only way, I think.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I think that's the thing too, especially as we're seeing more and more people who play together and know each other and have played at different times. It is harder to drag that person who you're working with, knowing that, you're going to see them again, right? You have that relationship and you're going to have to deal with those consequences immediately after.
Yeah.
That people don't want to follow through on that, which is why you see, threats in other directions than who might be the best person to threaten at the time, which is interesting.
Yeah.
So that after that brought us to the final 2, which was Dustin and Kels, and here is where, Dustin, I thought you had it, 100%. I thought you had it in the bag because you did, and I feel like that was important. You had those big moves very early on, with Karma's Kiss and with the bot coin. You had those. Those were your moves, and they were very clearly your moves, and that all the decision-making power was on you. And I feel like that was very easy to pick out, whereas Kels' moves were more social and a bit more in the shadows and people couldn't see it. However, Kels, you were so assured in the final 2 that you convinced me. I was like, she is the greatest Sequester player of all time. I just missed it. I am all for it, and people who watch Podquester know this about me. I want everyone to have a thing. If you have a thing that is your calling card in Sequester, you will be remembered forever. If you have a puppet, if you have a fun name, all these random things, Kels, you will forever be remembered when people see you and you come on the screen as the person who is the best Sequester player of all time. You guaranteed it. You said it in your video, you said it at the end, and my favorite part, you said it when the game ended. It was the first thing that was said. Dustin, congratulations, you won. Okay, but I'm still the best ever. And it was phenomenal. It was incredible.
Unreal.
It was so great. I love it.
Legendary.
Yeah.
Legendary.
Yeah.
What did you think about going into the final 2? Did you both think you had a good shot at winning? Did you think you had no shot? What were your thoughts?
I honestly didn't think I had, I thought it was going to be a close vote because I knew Kels had a much better social game than I did. Where Kels, I felt made real connections with people, going throughout the game. I used my personality to charm people and then stab them. So so it was we played to our advantages, and I think different people react to different things in different ways. So I felt like it was going to be a close vote. So I mean, I think it was going to be close, and I knew going into it how I was going to answer these questions. How am I going to do it? And a lot of the answering, I answered second because I wanted to see how Kels answered the questions first. And when Kels started to get really passionate about her game and how she's the greatest of all time, if I tried to meet that with the same kind of passion, I'm losing. There's no way I'm going to be able to be absolutely, I'm not going to meet that level of passion. So I went about my answers in a very cold, logical, this is what the answer is, and let's move on, because I needed to play to my strength. My strength was like being like making calls and making moves, and like that. I mean, I'm not gonna change it now. I'm gonna play to my strengths.
Yeah, I think
I gotta go, guys. I'm sorry, but I just wanted to say, obviously, I voted for Kels. Never was going any other way. But you both played amazing games, and you both are incredible. And King and Queen of 821 right here, guys.
Ooh.
Thanks, Ryan.
I know it.
Love seeing you play last night.
Guys. Thank you.
Thanks for coming on.
Bye, Ryan.
Love you guys. Bye.
Bye, Ryan. Love you. Oh, I love Ryan.
So Kels, as you were saying.
I think for me, looking back, I did, like I said, to be the greatest, you have to know what you did wrong. And one of the things I did not pull the heartstrings. You know, Dustin is going through some things, and like people were in rooms that you weren't even in. People were like, "Do not vote Dustin out. He's having a tough time." Like you in your initial video, you were talking about how your real life was going, and people connected to that. And so at some points during the game, people were saying like, "Don't vote Dustin. He just lost his job." You know, and I was like, and I was too. I was like, "Don't vote Dustin. You know, he's having a tough time. Give the man a chance." So I didn't talk a lot about myself. Like I didn't talk about my why this matters to me, why Sequester has changed my life, why this has been my medicine during the pandemic. You know, I didn't talk about those things. And like looking back, I could have and I should have. But I think overall, it was a great jury. I really had a great time, like going head to head. And I'll tell you what my why is. My why and how I played the game was I forgot that one of the things that I had to do was remember that I can't play like you play. You know, Blake talked about it a little while ago. As a white man, you can do different things. You can say different things. You can navigate the world differently than I can. Like everybody was like, you came on in the end. That was when I was allowed to. I was allowed to show passion then. If I'm showing passion and being aggressive and animated early on, they're like, "Oh, get her out of here. She is acting up." You know, so I think that there's things that you have to be aware of when you play any kind of social game. And this was my very first time ever playing Sequester, any type of online game. I barely knew how to do anything. So like, I think that is why I'm going down in the history books. That right there.
Well, I already told you, Kels, you started in the history books. This is far, far from the end, if I had anything to say about it. Like, I feel like you have a lot more that you're going to give the Sequester community if you choose to stick around.
Absolutely. So. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
But yeah, Dustin? I mean, overall, it was an incredible mini. Dustin, what were your final thoughts on the night?
Oh, so many. Very humbling, very intense. Definitely way more intense playing it than watching it. It's way faster, like when you're in it. I'm still processing it. It takes me a while to process a lot of things. Mm-hmm. So it'll probably be like a week before I'm like, wow, that like really happened. But I definitely learned a bit about myself. I learned like when my biggest regret in the game was the final 5 with how I handled the Jay West situation. It was very uncalled for. It was something that I got caught up in the moment, and I showed my ass essentially, literally. And it was uncalled for and it was unnecessary. Mm-hmm. So I have to like look at myself and be like, you know what? I gotta check myself, because like some of the things that I did were not okay. And I need to be fine with that. That being said, how I played the game strategically, I could not be happier with, just because I felt like I made really strong moves when I needed to. And when the twist came around, I wasn't because a lot of the times when I watch these games, like people are afraid of the twist. And I'm like, no, let's go. Like, this is the twist. Let's grab it and let's figure it out. Especially with that new twist that came in, like everyone was like startled. And I'm like, no, this is how you, like, people were afraid of like not being able to use the twist to their advantage. And I'm like, no, this is how we're going to be using the twist to my advantage, so that this can all change around. But I think going forward, I need to focus a lot more on my social game, and I need to actually make connections, because it almost cost me.
Yeah.
Got you there though. And now you're in the winners at war pool. So get ready.
Oh my gosh.
The first.
That's amazing.
That's the second of many. So
yeah.
Thank you both so much for joining us. Like I said,
Absolutely.
I mean, incredible final two, an incredible cast. We'll show the Twitters. Kels, is this your Twitter? Did you get Twitter already?
Yes.
There we go. Look at that.
As a
Prepare.
Twitter.
Follow that Twitter. It doesn't have enough followers. You prepare
I
for
just joined. I just joined.
Get ready for a lot.
They're coming. They're coming.
You're an icon. I love you.
I love you too. It was awesome. I didn't
So
know how
much
this
fun.
worked. So I'm happy that you get to keep friends with the people. I didn't know. I didn't know what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome.
You said that last
ready.
night. You were like, I'm not sure how this works. Yes, we all stay in contact. You're going to talk
didn't
to
know.
all of us again.
Yes. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Cool.
Thank you guys so much.
Absolutely. And there's Dustin's Twitter. Follow that Twitter as well. As always, thank you to our mods in the chat. Thank you to Will from America for the theme song. I will be back in, what time is it? 5:30. We'll be back in 2.5 hours for coverage of tonight's mini. Audrey posted something weird about wheels, Wheel of Doom. I don't know what a Wheel of Doom is, but it
Thank God I
sounds
was last night.
interesting.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how you play the Wheel of Doom, but it'll be fun to find out. So we'll be back in a couple of hours. Thank you both. Thank you to everyone in the chat for watching. And as always, we will see you out there. Bye, everybody.